Starting. All right, we're live. Hey everyone. So first of all, sorry for doing this at the last minute. We all kind of woke up at I don't know, 5 p.m. So I didn't really have a time to get the word out and stuff before we did this. So we'll do a better job of that next time. We're trying to once a week do a live stream update and stuff and chill with our backers and answer questions and discuss the people hating on us and stuff like that. So let's see. We have Tyler and Dan here. I don't know if the rest of the team's going to be able to make it. I don't know because they're in Europe and stuff like that. All right, I'm opening up the Google Hangout page. Let me open the YouTube page real quick, and then we'll be reading all your comments and stuff as we do what we do, which we're not sure exactly
I got
what we're doing.
the Q&A app going too, so if you guys want to ask questions through that,
you're gonna have to watch that shit because I don't know how that works.
you click on the blue Q&A on the left-hand side of your Hangout, and it puts it over on the right instead of chat.
Oh well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Blue.
There's already some people's stuff appearing in there, but it's just comments, not necessarily questions.
I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, I'm retarded. Okay, opening Q&A. Ask your audience to submit questions. None of these are questions. Will ES look better? Actually, that's a question. Will ES look better on a CRT or LCD? Honestly, probably an LCD. I know a lot of old school games look like shit on HD devices and things that aren't just interpolated, but we're developing this game from the ground up to be HD and stuff, so it should totally look better in a higher resolution with a better TV. So
yeah, I know
definitely.
PeerSolar planned on CRT usage. Tulio said that it was meant to be played like that because of the color blending and everything, but that's not necessarily how we're doing it. So
right. Wait, I can select questions. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, I guess you mark them as answered or something.
Oh really? Oh well. Select. Selecting question.
What did it do?
Oh, okay. So so we select them, and then when we're done answering them, we click done. Wow, look at this fancy shit. Come on, go live. Haha, that's not a question. None of these are questions.
Yeah. And it actually removes it from the list too.
Sweet. Did I pretend to get shirtless? Okay, let me select this question. What scenario are you talking about that I pretended to get shirtless? Because I've done many a live stream without a shirt, brother. It's the least I could do for the gaming press. What are you working on right now? Oh, hold on. Let me select this question before
Hang on, I selected one. Do you see it?
Wait, no. Oh, Jesus, we have almost 40 viewers now right now. So we gotta get on top of this shit.
Yeah.
What are you working on right now? So that is an interesting question. So it's really funny if you saw the Kickstarter launch live stream. We all looked like shit, and we were up for 3 days straight, trying to get the Kickstarter launched. And we're like, oh my god, we're done. We can rest now. Oh my god, no, you can't. After the Kickstarter launches, that's when the emails start rolling in. I couldn't even check my Facebook for a couple days because I had 60 notifications. So right now, half of the team is still developing, working on that, while the other half of us, it's just full-time PR for us because we're getting so many questions and interview
podcasts and everything.
Yeah, things like that. So really, it's tough, dude. We wake up every day and this is what we have to do. So we also have, especially the artists, are doing a bunch of work right now with different levels and stuff that we're gonna be posting in Kickstarter updates coming up. So stay tuned for that shit. Will there be an HD mode and a 16-bit mode in PeerSolar HD? It's funny you ask that because I actually did not know that PeerSolar HD was doing that. And then Tulio came over to our house and we're sitting here playing PeerSolar HD and he shows us he goes to the menu in real time and he can pick between old school and new school, and I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome. So actually I don't know for sure exactly how it's going to work, but as part of our engine, it's developed so that you can disable all of these modern lighting effects and things for the people who for some reason don't like fucking next genisism. So yeah, we do want to allow you to be able to disable that in real time, kind of like PeerSolar did, which totally copying them. It's cool because we love them. So that's our nod to Tulio and Pierre Solar. We really do want to do that. And like another thing is that like if you have like a really ancient computer that's like shitty, that's also another way that we'll be able to support other like ancient platforms and things like that, is because you could disable that stuff if you don't have a nice GPU and it'll still run well.
Somebody asked, what do you think is the most important factor in game programming, and what was the first game you made? I did.
Select. Oh, you did? Dude, how come I don't?
I don't know.
Oh my god. So what was...
What do you think is the most important factor in game programming, and what was the first game you made?
Oh, I think the most important factor in game programming, honestly, is to not be too much of an arrogant sack of shit, which is ironic. I'm saying that, but like over the years, I feel like, especially if you follow us on YouTube, I feel like you can see that, like, I don't know, like in my opinion, like the greener you are and like the fresher you are in game development, like usually like the more arrogant you are. Like the best developers I know, like, yeah, they're arrogant sacks of shit because they're good and they know they're good. But like it's really important to know where you're at and to always be like completely real with yourself. Like I do believe that like I'm a pretty fucking good developer, but you know, it's very important to know like on the totem pole, yes, I'm a good developer, but like I kind of suck at this, I suck at this. Like be objective about your skills and your abilities. Make friends with people who are better than you. Don't be like a jealous piece of shit, you know, and be like afraid of competition or not wanting to support other people because, you know, you feel like they're better than you or whatever, which I kind of had like a complex about that a while ago, and part of like was getting the fuck over that, and it's been very rewarding and stuff. So I think that's how you progress as a programmer. And honestly, another thing is always be a student. Like don't
always
expect
learning something new.
Always, like, no one's going to teach you this shit. Like, we didn't go to school for game development, and even if you go to school for game development, half those people contact me and they're like, dude, like, I graduated from this school, I don't know shit about anything because I just used Unity. And like, it's really self-taught, like, this entire industry. You really have to have, like, the drive to want to make it on your own. And I feel like people who come in here and, like, they're expecting, like, to be taught things, those are the people who you know, are really cutting themselves short because they're coming in with the wrong attitude, so... I think, oh Jesus, I need to fucking answer these questions faster and stop being all tangential. My bad. Next.
Oh Jesus, there's a lot of them.
As a nod to watermelon, can we have exploding melons as throwable weapons? Well,
I don't see why not.
Oh, and that's S. John Chambers from UAH. What's up, buddy? I'll be back at school next semester. I dropped out this semester because there's too much shit with Kickstarter.
Still haven't heard back from your professor. Will EA support my P3 in Windows 95?
Oh my god. Oh. You know, it's... What's your GPU, dude? It's going to come down to that. It might. It depends on your GPU. Your GPU doesn't... because you'll be able to turn that off. It's just a matter of, like, raw poly throughput. Can you render enough? But you probably it could. Probably.
Beyond the goals and Kickstarter tiers, I'm more interested in the toolkit and modifications, even making my own games with this toolkit. I want to fail, crash, and burn using these amazing tools you've created.
I like this guy. I like this
dude.
Thank you. I really like this dude. Yeah, like, and that's the thing, you know, like, we had always developed ES, like expecting to release these tools and, like, expecting, like, this engine to be used by more than just us, you know what I mean? But, like, at the same time, there's a little bit more extra, like, polish you have to put on the tools, you know, like, if it crashes on exit and Tyler's using it, I don't give a shit. Like, fuck you, I'm busy, I'm working on something else. But, like, we can't release the toolkit to you guys, and it crashes every time you try to exit out of it, you know? And that's why that's
we
a stretch
fixed that,
goal,
though.
You know?
It no longer crashes on exit.
I know, dude. We're legit now. We're professional. Okay, next. Let's see. Oh, okay. I asked on Facebook, but you were probably waiting for an instance like this to say something more about it. How are you planning to license your game engine? What are your time frames? Hey, dude. Yeah, I do remember you from Facebook. I'm sorry. I feel like a dick because, like, I don't think I responded, or if I did, I kind of, like, seriously half-assed it. My bad. We really haven't, like, thought too deeply about it because, like, we're so busy, like, trying to get ES itself done, like, to really focus on that. But yeah, we're definitely planning on licensing it. I'm not sure if, like, it will go open source or not yet, but the thing is that, like, everything the engine can do is basically like exposed to Lua in the same way that something like Unity 3D is fully scriptable via like JavaScript or C Sharp. You know, so you don't have all of our source code or any of our source code really to make any kind of game with the engine. So even if we don't go like the open source route, you could totally still like make anything with the engine. That's kind of the way that we architected it. So sorry to only like half-ass answer your question, but answer it better, like especially if we hit that goal, because obviously we'll have to plan more. But in the future, we'll be able to answer that better.
Your audio's lagging a little bit, man.
Jesus. Would a 3D
Yeah, I'm about to get off your Wi-Fi.
Would a 3D FX Voodoo 2 run ES fine? Oh my god, dude. Am I really gonna have to like Google specs for that card? Like, I don't know. Wasn't that about the time of the Dreamcast?
Oh my god,
That was when Voodoo was out. It might. Okay, I'm not gonna say it might run it fine. I'll say it might run it. Okay, for Tyler, what was your experience in programming before this project? What has been the toughest part of gameplay design? It's you, Tyler.
Well, before actually working on ES, I mean, I took almost all the same programming classes Falco did in school. I started out going into the same courses in college. I became a network engineer, but I worked on open source phone systems using CentOS, Linux, Asterisk. So I've got experience working with large code bases like that. We were actually one of the top 10 resellers of Digium Asterisk in the United States. What other projects I've worked on besides personal stuff? Just a bunch of personal tools, really. I mean, we worked with like our own open source DPMA modules for Digium phones and things like that. We had our own like GUI backend and custom flavor of Asterisk we ran. Probably my most experience with that. But the most challenging part of gameplay design, I guess, is getting some of the ideas into code from paper. It's very, very uncommon for me to play any games nowadays without dissecting what it is I'm seeing on screen. Like,
dude, we don't play games like that anymore. Like every time we're like, dude, let's just take the night off and chill and play some video games.
No, it doesn't happen.
Nope, we're sitting on the couch and we're like, oh my god, I see how they did that. Oh my god, we need
last night or the night before last, we got back from Florida and we were playing The Last of Us remastered on my PS4. And like I was walking around and like started looking at like the water. I'm like, oh my god, dude, look at this! Like, and we were just like walking around, messing with it, seeing how it all interacted and how their shaders worked. Just dissecting that, or like particles. Or like, wait, how do they do this? Like,
Falco, can you sit still? No.
Crazy.
I have ADD. Can't you tell? Like, haven't you met me? Fine, I will try to sit still. By the way, let me at least say this real quick. If you guys have seen or like followed us for a long ass time, you'll know we did a video a while ago where like we were taking donations for an HD camera and we basically did whatever you guys wanted us to do. So we're totally gonna do that tonight. If you guys want us to do something, if you want me to like jump off the fucking roof again, I'll totally do it. Just like message what you want us to do and like how much you'll donate, and then like when I see it comes in on the Kickstarter that someone backed, I'll totally go do it or whatever you want. It's kind of dark. Hopefully you could see me jump off the roof. I don't know.
Somebody asked, how much easier will ES be to play using the maracas? I don't know if it'd be easier.
It's not. Well, actually, you could play the whole game with the maracas, but it was more for like a mini game for like Samba de Amigo. Speaking of which, we have that set up in the back room too.
Yes, it's on standby.
Am I getting all the questions, dude? I don't know. I'm just trying to
mark this one. Connor just got back. There he is.
Connor! What's up, Holmes? Well, alright, fuck you too. He doesn't even want to talk to us. Alright, fine. Well, you can look at his beautiful face now. Alright. Hold on. What?
You're muted. I hear you in person, but I don't hear you through the live stream.
What is the best book/resource to learn game programming? Homie, that is a very, very complicated question. Like, the thing is, like, there's no one best book. Like, I have, like seriously, like 100 books, you know, because there's so much shit in game programming, you know, like graphics, that alone could be like 5 different books, and it is, like GPU, the asset management could be 50 books. Like, I have a book just on collision. easiest way to get started is totally to find like a book, I don't know, that focuses on just like SDL or something like that. And what you do, and what I did, is you don't read that thing all the way through. Don't fucking do that, because it's like ridiculous. You're not gonna be able to like understand it all. You're not gonna be able to comprehend it. So what you do is like you read the chapter on like getting game input or something, and okay, now like when I push A, I can do something. And then like you read the chapter on like you know, drawing a sprite or something, and basically you take those and you piece them together into a cohesive game instead of reading from one end to the other. Next question. Sorry, trying to hurry. Will you guys jam on Guitar Hero?
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
No.
Do we have it?
We
No.
don't have
See,
Guitar Hero. We've got Rock Band.
Connor gets jealous because he's like an actual musician, and like he sees us jamming, he's like, damn, these guys are fucking awesome.
I think jealous is the wrong word.
It's all right, bro.
Embarrassed? No.
Yeah, there we go. I think it was Patrick, our artist, who said that Guitar Hero is the blow-up doll for musicians. I'll go with that.
Yeah. All right. You guys mentioned that you plan to utilize every platform's unique features in that build of ES. With that said, will you guys do anything with the Ouya's controller trackpad? Seems like a pretty cool thing to implement in some way. Actually, that is a really cool thing. Like, we haven't specifically thought about that trackpad, but like obviously like down the line we probably would have. But like now that I'm thinking about it too, especially with some of like the touch UI elements that we'll have on like the mobile devices for like Droid or iOS, like some of that could stay on the Ouya build because you do have the trackpad there. So like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential for that.
The PS4 controller's got the touch.
That's a good idea.
As well.
Someone take notes. Write this down. That dude knows what's up. I'm shocked you are actually pushing a huge industry milestone, multi-platform save states and platform individual functionality. Can you expand on this at all and why other publishers aren't doing it? Yo, that's a really good question. Like, why the hell aren't they, dude? Like,
There's a very simple answer to that. It's because they want you to buy multiple copies of the same game.
But so do we. I mean, like...
No, but if you have to spend 6 more hours playing the other copy, then it's more... all they want as much out of you as completely possible.
But the way I see it, though, is like, you know, if you can move like from one platform to the other, then like it actually would make more sense to buy it on multiple platforms. I don't know. But like when we dreamt up the stretch goals, the last thing we wanted to do, and like this pisses me off every time I see a Kickstarter, like the stretch goals are like, we'll add 2 more levels, we'll add a new boss, and it's like, motherfucker, how do I know that you weren't planning on doing that anyway? You know, like what the hell does that mean to like a fan? So we wanted stretch goals that actually meant something, that was actually something that hasn't been done before, something that innovated in the industry, something like that. So that's really where that came from. And let's see what else he asked for. I don't know. And another thing I think that plays into it is like I'm kind of a whore for like hardware development. Like I love putting ES on different platforms and I love playing with hardware. So for me, like I as an engineer want to like support all the shit I can do because I'm like, oh my god, there's maracas, I can play with these, or like I can put it on this platform. And like it's funny because a lot of people don't understand like where that passion comes from, and they're like, oh dude, you're just a whore, you just want to put ES on everything. And I'm like, fuck yeah I am. Like how is that bad? Like I don't understand like how that's not a positive thing in the industry. I don't know.
I don't understand how somebody would look at porting something to Nintendo when we grew up playing Nintendos. The same way that you want it to be on the Dreamcast because you grew up playing Dreamcast. Right. So that's why you want it on Nintendo, because it's like, dude, Mario was on Nintendo. Now we're on Nintendo. It's like that same kind of...
Right.
It's hype.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question.
I want it on PS4 because I played all my Silent Hill and Resident Evil games on PlayStation. That's...
Right. Oh, dude, this guy's asking a really cool question. Are you restricting yourselves from using the newer C++ standard, or are all the targeted platforms supported? Dude, I am fucking gay for C++ 11. Oh my god, dude. You should see some of the new templates I'm using with C++ 11. Actually, believe it or not, the latest version of GCC on the Dreamcast supports like 90% of C++ 11. So no, we're really not restricting ourselves, and especially in our toolkit, man, I just go crazy with variadic templates and macros and stuff. I think as a developer, as someone who grew up with coding C++, like C++11 for me just is, it's incredible. Like it's made the language like clean and new again. It's given me like a reason to like go back into studying C++ and like it's making coding excited again. And I think these are things that like the language desperately needed. So like we're totally fucking rocking out C++11. What has been the most difficult part of making ES a truly 3D game? Honestly, the most difficult part has just been aesthetically trying to get it to not look like shit and trying to get it to also work out in 2D. That's been very difficult. So like obviously there's a bunch of literature on like 3D lights and shit like this, but there's not literature on how to apply like 3D lighting and all this stuff to 2D sprites, you know, and still have it look good. So like the hardest part was really, and you can look back at our old screenshots and see that like the game looks considerably different, like, you know, each month just because of how much we learned and like how much we've grown trying to do that. We really had to find our own way creatively to make like a 2D/3D game like this. So that was difficult for us, was just kind of figuring out like how the fuck are we going to tackle this. Okay, this dude. All right, first of all, will you guys play Super Smash Bros? Can you have Falco be Captain Falcon? One, yes, but it will have to be next time because my brothers have Smash Bros. I don't actually have it. I know I suck. But two, why do I have to be Captain Falcon when there's like Falco Lombardi? Like his name is literally Falco, and I'm way better at playing as Falco than I am Captain Falcon. Just answer me that. Can I be Falco Lombardi or Sonic? I can be Sonic. I might get my ass kicked as Captain Falcon. Will the game be a fixed resolution for all platforms, or will it vary and be adjusted in the settings? Definitely for PC, it will be adjustable in settings. For like the mobile devices and the Dreamcast, no, it's not going to be. But another thing that you have to take into account that you can probably see from like the gameplay footage is that we have a dynamic camera to where even if you're at a lower resolution, like it's dynamically zooming in and out, exactly like Super Smash Bros. Did, to keep all of the action on the screen. You know, even if truly you have a lower resolution, so it's not like you're really going to be seeing less or missing part of the action, and that's something that we've been really like self-conscious about as we've been developing. And also like I have like in our toolkit when you invoke the engine and run shit, like we can run stuff on the PC and be like, oh, I want to make sure this level looks good with like the Dreamcast resolution or like the iPhone resolution. So yeah, we're being conscious about that. This may single-handedly revive the Dreamcast and Ouya. That's really exciting. What game can say that, really? Fuck yes! I agree! Dude, like, I'm waiting for, like, the guys at Sega, like, it's funny, because I'm friends with Yuji Naka on Facebook, and, like, I fucking adore that guy. He's just such, like, a badass and inspiration, and, like, this decadent sack of shit is, like, always posting pictures of, like driving Ferraris and, like, hanging out with hot girls and on cruises, and, like, I posted on his Facebook, I'm like, dude, you've been a huge inspiration to us in Elysian Shadows. Like, I really admire your work, especially on the Dreamcast. By the way, we're coming out on the Dreamcast too. And like, I left him a link. So like, I'm waiting for like Sega to realize what we're doing here. I think that would be like fucking awesome. And also, by the way, like I really like the Ouya. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Like when I first started developing for it, like it was like new hardware to play with. But like as I've become more active in the Ouya scene, like those are just some really fucking pleasant people. There's a lot of people, especially because we do our own marketing, that just they have no fucking clue what it takes to make a game. They would rather shit all over your work than say like one word of being nice to you, you know. But like the Ouya people, like they get it. Like they're so like developer friendly, and it's just I'm like I really want to be a part of this. And like you know when I talk to them, I'm like damn, I need to make sure the Ouya build kicks ass. Okay. How will shadows work in the weaker consoles? Will some consoles not have shadows? Will they be shadow volumes, etc.? I don't think I've seen shadow volumes on mobile games before. That is a really fucking good question.
We had to.
So good that I wish I didn't have to answer it. Like, if you go back and look at our old screenshots, it actually wasn't until recently that we were doing per pixel shadows. Initially, like the engine was using shadow volumes on all consoles, so basically it's going to be a gradient. I would like to believe that every platform could at least use shadow volumes for that. I would like to believe. I know for a fact the Dreamcast really does have shadow modifiers, which is roughly an equivalent, but you know there hasn't been much work done with it. But I would like to believe we could do it there. But so it'll be the most powerful systems will be able to do pixel perfect. then shadow volumes, then worst case, no shadows. But in my mind, I don't know that any platform will not have shadows, but we'll see. Like, hopefully that's not the case, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that's not the case.
Somebody said, honestly, though, I get more enjoyment from making games than playing them. Is that weird?
Nope. It's pretty normal.
I get more enjoyment making music than listening to music, so no.
I think it's like a different kind of enjoyment. Like, I get like this fucking like rush from making games, like a head high. I don't know. And like playing games is more like relaxing enjoyment to me. Like, it's like a dopamine versus serotonin thing.
I guess it depends on what mood you are on that day.
Yeah, yeah. Do you like the performance C++11 gives you? Fuck yes, I do. Fuck yes.
Somebody asked, what's your stance on crowdfunding? Are you trolling?
Dude, crowdfunding is the worst idea ever.
Don't ever do crowdfunding.
No, let me like legitimately answer that question, because especially lately, which pisses me off, there's all these articles coming out about how evil Kickstarter is and how much crowdfunding sucks, which ironically would come out like the day before we launched ours, and we're still doing really well. Like, God. Those people piss me off, because in my opinion, Kickstarter and crowdfunding is a beautiful thing that this industry desperately needs, because now it's becoming so expensive for like a mainstream companies to develop huge games. You know, like it's becoming like millions of dollars versus like thousands. You know, back in the day on the Super Nintendo and stuff. And it's really hard for like an indie developer or someone without like contacts in the industry or without a shitload of money to break into the gaming community. And with Kickstarter, it really gives you a way for it instead of who you know and how much money you have, it allows you to break into gaming with these new and innovative ideas that everyone's too afraid to fuck with, just based on your merit alone. You know, just based on, wow, this guy has a really good idea. Let's do this. You know. So it allows us to innovate gaming in ways that, you know, like no big gaming company is going to have the balls to do a project like Elysian Shadows. Not to sound arrogant, but like there's no way in fuck anyone would ever do this, or like attempt to target the Dreamcast, or like try to do what we're doing, because it's risky. You know, it might not pay off, and if it weren't for Kickstarter, there's no way in hell we'd be able to do this like this. We would, but it would take like 3 more years to have the funding to do the game while we work full-time jobs. So in my mind, like, crowdfunding is a beautiful thing that I really feel like this industry needs. It's a force of change.
I agree with that.
Oh, damn, dude! Some of these have like 9 likes and stuff, and there's like 70 people in here. I'm trying to fucking keep reading these. All right. You guys have seen a lot of people come and a lot of people go during the multiple years of development. That is true. What was the hardest part of keeping the team motivated and together, and how did they attempt to overcome some of these obstacles? That's deep. Jesus. Ooh, he's hitting me in the feels. Yeah, we really have had a lot of people come and go. The hardest part, and I think it was harder for us, is because we had like this very ambitious technical vision. Like we couldn't just jump into making this game. We had to develop like our own engine, our own tools, and things like that. And the problem with doing that is that people don't understand like how much work goes into that. They don't give a shit if you optimize your shader to get like 3 more lights on screen. They can't tell that, like, I don't know, the memory management subsystem is more optimized or things like that. So like inherently, like, people are less motivated when you're working on an engine, because they feel like, what the fuck, we're not progressing as a game. And we lost a lot of team members because, like, I had this vision of how ES would be, and I know Tyler did, and like a lot of the people with us now like saw that vision, and they understood, like, to get there we have to do this. But there were also a lot of people who, like, they could not understand our creative vision, and they didn't have the patience to see, like, motherfucker, we got to get an engine before we can make a game. You know, they just see, oh, this isn't going anywhere, so they quit. And I really feel like the biggest part of, like, staying motivated and, like, keeping the team together is, like, truly, you have to be fucking friends with each other. Like, we've had
brothers in arms, even.
Yeah, dude. Like, we've had so many people who join the team who, like, you know, we're way more crazy than they are, and like we scared them off, or they're not as motivated as we are. But like, we have scared all those motherfuckers off to the point where, like, everyone on the team is like, dude, they're like us. Like, they're just crazy, like, passionate motherfuckers just trying to make a goddamn game, you know. And it truly, like, these are, I gave up my social life running this campaign. Like, these are like pretty much the only people I interact with, like, on a day-to-day basis, and like we've kind of become like brothers, you know. Like, we talk, and it's not just game development and business, and I think that's been really cool. So And another thing is like we're very honest. Like Connor will say like, dude, your work is shit, or like that looks like shit, or no, we can't put that in the game, and there's no hard feelings because we know that we all want to make the best game we can possibly make, and we all want, like, I want Connor's music to sound incredible. I don't want him to suck ass.
We push each other and ourselves to like the next level. I mean, being, like I said, like more or less like brothers in arms like this too. I mean, we spent like almost a month like sitting here with Dan like in this one room like working on it. Like Andrew came into town. I mean, we just sat here for like days programming, taking sleep as we needed it and things like that. I mean,
and like three of us literally had panic attacks before the Kickstarter, because here we are, like, we don't know for sure if we're going to make it. We quit our jobs, like $150K is a lot of money to be asking for. Like, we really put everything on the line, and like we were working so hard, like not sleeping. Some of them, I won't say who, Patrick, like became a drunk during this period, and like it was just dark, but like we were there for each other. It was like, all right, dude, come on, like calm down, like we're gonna fucking do this. We're in this together, and like none of us really bitched out. And I think it was because we were all there to like, come on, man, let's make a fucking game. Like support.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we sat in Skype or in Hangouts and stuff, and like we would be talking like 2 or 3 in the morning, like keeping each other company, keeping each other sane, like on task. And cause, I mean, when you're up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and like everyone else is asleep, or like you see the sun come up, you're like, oh well, it's like time for bed now, kind of thing. And
no,
trying to work across these different time zones. Well, on like the 3rd day of being awake, it is. But I don't know, it was just crazy. I mean. Reading some of these other comments.
If you had to develop ES in a language other than C++, which language would you have used? I know you're going to hate this.
Visual Basic with Java.
Let's kick this fool out of the chat, Connor. That's why he doesn't code. He's going to hate this response, but then I would use C.
I'm going to say C, not C++. C.
All of libgyro, like the driver shit is already C anyway. Like it's like half C++, and then that level is only C. But I totally use C. I'm not leaving a C language. I'm not going to C#, so C.
I think I saw somewhere that somebody ported either Doom or Quake to Ada, so we should use Ada.
Jesus. Hey, Tyler. Are there classes in the game, warrior, mage, archer, etc.? Fuck yeah. Take it away, Tyler.
Yeah.
What do you mean, kind of?
Well, I'm getting ready to expound upon it. Yes,
all right.
Yes, there are.
Real quick, I'm getting a drink, so the guy who's bitching that I move around too much, stay off my ass.
One of the big things we wanted to do, well, I personally felt was important, is I wanted to stray away a little bit from the classic, like, black mage, white mage, red mage, warrior kind of paradigm. Core characters felt unique unto themselves. And then all of the, like, classes that you could use to enhance would kind of build off their core skill set, enhancing their like certain tanking abilities, or adding new ones, or augmenting these for like maybe like area effects, damage, and things like that, like a warrior mage or something like that, to where you don't necessarily go and just pick like a thief class. Like this character is a thief, but you can enhance him in different ways too. Because believe me, I'm a huge fan of like Final Fantasy Tactics, like Bravely Default, games like that you just have just tons of classes and different mechanics, like you're learning abilities from weapons and things like that. But I also really think that having like a unique something else to the table really helps us move it into like the next gen, I guess, niche that we're looking for. Let's see.
Falco, I've seen you revved up about some haters. What exactly happened with that? Sorry in advance if it makes you rant.
Always haters.
Oh. Well, first of all, like I've always been like, I hate to be that guy, but like I'm the guy who like wears his heart on his sleeve, and like you see a lot of guys in like the gaming industry, Phil Fish especially, that do not take criticism very well, and like I think the reason is that
the same way.
I think the reason is that, like, if you're truly, like, emotionally invested in your game, like, it's this thing that, like, you've poured your fucking heart and soul into, and then, like, especially on Steam Greenlight, like,
there's some trolls, let me tell you.
Some of them are amazing, but, like, most of them are amazing, but, like, then you get these, like, audacious motherfuckers who come out of nowhere, just, like, they don't even watch the trailer, they don't even, like, really read about your game, they just fucking take a shit on your hard work without
like guy that posted like 4 comments in a row because it filled up the comment box and there was a limit, and he was just like 4 or 5 times there was other people posting in between him just like criticizing the shit out of ES, and it's like
yeah, I mean fucking hurts. Like, it feels like I'm sitting here naked and like you're fucking seeing into my soul, and you're like, your soul really fucking sucks. Like, that's I don't know. That's what I feel.
I mean,
and like,
it's serious. Yeah.
And Connor here, he's Canadian, so like he just takes everything from the audience, and like he's trying to like train me, and I've gotten a lot better at it. He's like, bro, calm down, don't
Be more zenful.
Be more zen. So like I'm working on it.
No, I just totally have a different philosophy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Whatever. You're Canadian. You're like anti-confrontational. So I don't know.
I understand too. I mean, like that's one thing you have to worry about, especially since we do all of our own PR. Is like the entire team's presence. I mean, like, we have to have a cohesive game and vision.
Right.
And
and I don't want like the whole team to look like a dick just because I'm a dick. Well, kind of. Usually I don't. By the way, that was Valerie. Hey, Valerie. Thanks for like joining.
I figured that was her. Yeah.
Come chill with us. All right. You guys should release a quick 10-minute max summary of Aegid, everything that happened since episode 1 till now. A quick video. I think that is really interesting for new people who don't know what's possible. No, actually, I think like this dude is. Oh, that's extraterrestrial. No, I think he's right. And actually, you know what? Like, that's kind of what we're working on.
It just needs to be a best of Still a Virgin 69.
I don't want to say too much, but like I do agree, because we're getting all these new fans, who didn't grow up with us. They didn't see like back when we were kids and our parents fucking attic, trying to make a game. So like I do think like it's a good idea, genuinely.
There is that video that we discussed possibly and/or making, which would be fun. We got to get through this Kickstarter first, but yes.
Do you feel like an expert when it comes to any particular programming topics? If so, which one? Why, yes, I do. I feel like an expert in numerous programming topics. I'm in graduate school right now with a 4.0 GPA, I might add, for computer architecture and GPU programming. I feel like I'm pretty strong in architecture, especially with all of the hardware and low-level shit that I love to mess with. Like, I'm very strong in that. I'm very good at like general programming, C, C++. Like, completely mastered those languages. I'm getting very good at general GPU architecture and GPU programming. I've done lots of like academic work in like OpenCL, especially like using the GPU either for graphics or for simulations. And I've actually like. That's how our physics engine came into existence. It was actually a project for my master's. So like I secretly like was using it for ES, but I wanted to get a grade in it.
He does that with everybody.
I do that all the time. Like I try to tie it in with my master's. So I don't know. I feel like I definitely feel like a lot of our engine is very academically relevant. So I'll just leave it at that, so you don't think I'm too much of a narcissist. But yes.
What was this?
Why are you wondering? So you can buy the Mentor. Which by the way, like for those of you who bought the Mentor, like. I will make you a programming rock star. I will take you under my wing, and like I'll teach you anything. Like we really wanted it to be like you can show up, hang out with us for a week, and like I will fucking open up the engine. Here's the source code. What do you want to know? I'll take you through anything, all of it. I will teach you everything I know, everything I can possibly teach you within that time period. I will make you a fucking protege. Next.
Somebody was saying hello to Connor from Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Hey, Canada.
Hey, Connor has one fan. I'm kidding.
No, it's because he's from Canada too. So
I love you, Connor. You want to get the next one, Tyler?
I'm digging through some of these here. Sorry to bring this up, but do you remember J-Force? I still remember your 2 and only 2 videos responding to their douchebaggery. Though it was no way a surprise, how does it feel to have something going on while they're douching their asses? Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, of course I remember J-Force, man. Like, you know what? Yeah. I actually, like, I reached out to them not too long ago. I'm like, following them on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and, like, I don't know, I guess, like, now that I'm older, like, I'm always trying to support them, and, like, when I see, like, them tweet something, like, I retweet it and stuff, and, like, I don't know, like, so part of me kind of hopes they, like, come out of nowhere and make, like, a really douchebaggy video about us, just because, like, I miss that excitement, man. I miss having, like,
the YouTube controversies.
I miss having a rival like that. It was awesome. Like, I kind of miss him. I know that's fucked up.
So how confident are y'all at this point that you'll meet your Kickstarter goal? How much do you think you will get at this point realistically? Or are they already prepared for some stretch goals? We are very confident, actually. We're a little bit terrified, always a little bit terrified, but we're very confident in seeing, especially what we've done in like the past 9 days.
See, the thing with Kickstarter is the further you get, the more confidence you gain. Like it's like psychology.
It's more confidence people.
There's a psychological factor where people don't want to back a Kickstarter where they see it's only 10% funded, even if they look and see, oh, it's only been 5 days. Like basically, the farther along you get, as long as you're ahead of the curve, you gain more and more momentum. And like we were actually a lot more terrified a couple weeks ago when like we had first launched it than we are now because. Dude, I get every Kickstarter backer email, and like it'll mess you up first of all. But like I wake up every morning, like refreshing all day, like keeping mental statistics in my mind. Are we slowing down? Are we doing well? Like how much, how well are we doing? And especially this weekend has given me more confidence because historically, Kickstarters slow down considerably on weekends, and this weekend we've actually like gained momentum that we didn't have during the week, which is pretty much fucking unheard of. So like,
we've got a really good pending article coming up too.
Right, and yeah, we're doing an interview with Red Bull Games right now. Which, by the way, after this live stream, don't let me fucking forget about that interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff in motion, and honestly, like you are seeing the Kickstarter pick up after we hit the 50% mark. Like you could see like the backer confidence like increase substantially. Yeah, so I really feel like as long as we stay ahead of that curve, like it should be fine.
Somebody asked, when developing the engine, do you have any features that you wanted to implement but did not have time to do so, or because of resource constraints?
Oh, sorry, I tabbed over to Facebook because someone was messaging. Okay, I'm reading it.
It's the one with like plus.
Yeah, it's not so much like that we haven't been able, or we haven't had time to implement. There are some things, especially for the Kickstarter video, that I wish we could have either done or done better, but like we were crunching for time for a Kickstarter for August 1st, we really needed funding to be able to do that. So it's not like these are things that aren't going to make it into like the final game. It's more like these were things that like at this point in time, like before the Kickstarter, we weren't really able to fully flesh out. Jesus Christ, we have 82 people watching this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's not really anything big as far as that goes, but yeah. Speaking of starting out in the attic, what was it like up there?
Well, it was.
It was very hot.
Wi-Fi reception was spotty. So
yeah, very bad Wi-Fi. Very bad Wi-Fi.
I think at one point we hung a Wi-Fi access point out the upstairs window on like the 3rd floor to try and get better reception from Lamar next door.
Right. No, I love that attic, dude. I miss that house so much. Like I don't know. Dude, that was like the weird like point in your life where like you're not quite an adult, but you're like your late teenage years, and like you're experimenting and like finding out who you are and like all this deep shit. I know that sounds like emo and stuff, but like actually that was a good point in my life. I miss that attic. Sometimes I wish I could go back to living in my parents' attic, just writing, just coding for a Dreamcast.
So you plan on making the ES Toolkit open source?
Kind of. That's kind of more like the engine question too. Like, we definitely plan on releasing it if we hit that stretch goal. Portions of it probably will be open source in that you want to be able to export in whatever map format you guys want to use or whatever. So I think the asset layer of that for loading and saving would either have to be open sourced or we'd have to have some kind of plugin so that you don't, or converters, so that you don't necessarily have to like load and store shit the way we do. So once again, I know that that's not completely answering your question, but like maybe. But if not, like you will not be cock-blocked because you don't have that code. How often do you take advantage of smart pointers in C++11? To be honest, absolutely never. I don't know, like I have such like a strong C background that I have never, I don't know, I've never really not scoped pointers myself. That's just the way I do things, and like to me that's the intuitive way, and I don't know, like smart pointers and stuff like that. Scoped pointers, I don't usually use those. I don't know, it's just me. I'm not saying they're bad because they're not. They're basically just like template instantiations doing exactly what I'm doing manually. I'm just saying stylistically. And next question before we scare everyone off with being overly technical.
Do you plan on having multiplayer LAN cross-platform support? For example, oh shit, you clicked that and it took it out of my queue. I can't see it. You have to finish reading it.
Oh, I did? Oh, my bad. Oh, sorry. I tabbed over to respond to someone on Facebook. Because they're pretty. Sorry. um, actually, yeah, that's a really good question. And honestly, like, it's funny that you asked that because that's another, like, fundamental why doesn't the rest of the game industry do that? Like, absolutely we will do that. Like, an online game, it takes no extra work to be able to like play with like the PS4 and the 360. It's just these are just IP packets being sent over the internet. Like, why the fuck is this not open to begin with? It's not because Microsoft and Sony, want to monopolize like their networks, but like for us, we want you to be able to play like Dreamcast and PC. Like we want that so badly. The only thing is if like if we publish on Xbox 360 and like for some reason they literally cockblock us and tell us no, you're not allowed to like host your own network where like other players on PlayStation are on there. Like that would be the only reason not to. But like A, we want to do that, and B, it's easy as hell to do that. That is absolutely our goal. If we make the MMO,
They make 2 million.
release, yeah. When is Elysian Shadows 2 coming out? Someone kick this guy out of chat. It'll come out after you guys crowdfund the first one. Let's see. When do you guys recall being your lowest point in the development of ES?
I don't want to talk about that.
That's Valerie. Valerie, what the hell? Hey, I know you know this one. Do you remember when I made that Facebook post like about me like having sleep problems and having like 2 surgeries and stuff? So like there was a point in my life where my girlfriend had left me, bitch. I'm just kidding. If you're watching, I'm telling you, you're not a bitch. Like sorry. My house had been destroyed in a flood. I was living in like a piece of shit like extended stay hotel, and then I had 2 surgeries to correct my sleep apnea, and basically like I've never experienced chemical depression to this point so badly in my entire life. Like I was like drinking and like I remember like vividly it was right when like Whitney Houston died. I was sitting in this hotel room like, okay, this is gonna wind up all over the internet, but I was snorting lines of cocaine off of the bathtub, like because I literally there was no happiness in my life, and I was like, okay, well I'll just feel good from this. And like watching Whitney Houston die from drugs, and I was like, oh my god, I got to get my shit together. But even then, even at my lowest low, I was still working on the toolkit. And to this day, if you see us flip or rotate the tiles in ESTK, I totally wrote that on cocaine. Not that I'm telling you to do this. Like that was a dark period in my life I want to leave behind. But I mean, truly, like this game has always been like my emotional savior. Like I had nothing else going for me in my life, and like ES was there to really pick me up from that. And actually it was that low point in my life that I realized like I wanted to do ES full time. Like I was unhappy like being an engineer even though I was making good money, and I was well respected and I was moving up in the company, but I really like when you lose everything like it puts things into perspective, and I was like, no, I want to start working on this Kickstarter, and that's when we really made the vision that put us where we are now. So maybe some lighter questions.
How many lines of code do you think ES is right now, and how many lines of code do you think you've ditched, thrown out so far? God, you want to include scripts?
Dude, I don't even know, man.
I can't even begin to tell you how many lines of scripts, and like every time we rewrite something, especially at least in the scripts, like making it more efficient, inheritance here and there, abstracting this and that, behavior-wise, like no. I rewrote one of the management scripts. I dropped out like 2,500 lines of code, but it definitely got way more complex, and I kind of offloaded part of that to other behaviors and stuff too. So I really have no good estimation at this point, and it's just beginning. So
a lot. If you do end up making ES online, I've got one major concern. I always hate how you go do some event or kill some boss which alters the world, but then you see the thing as if you didn't do anything in MMORPGs. How will you combat that design flaw? Actually, see, the reason like we won't have that problem. I don't know. I don't even know that like ES Online would be categorized as an MMORPG, because when you really make the entire game open to like being online, suddenly like you can't make everyone experience the game the way you want to. You can't like progress the storyline in a certain way. You lose a lot of creative freedom, I feel like, in telling your story and things like that, which is what we did not want to do. We wanted to keep the heart of an online game to where like we create this very specific, specialized experience where we make sure every player is experiencing the game we wanted them to experience it, but with their friends. So it's more like we have 3 to 4 party members offline already, and that's fundamentally how the game's architected. Yeah. Where online, it's just those party members are not AI controlled while you're controlling one. Those are your friends, you know. So it's not like the online experience is fundamentally different from the offline experience. It will probably just be like the big towns and things like that where you're actually interacting with like hundreds of people and buying and selling items, whereas like the ruins and like the storyline progression will be instanced so that you are experiencing the game the way that like we as designers wanted you to experience it.
Yeah. Best example would be something like some of the Guild Wars instances that they had like that, and I guess World of Warcraft did similar things, but like Phantasy Star Online, the way that they did like the missions that you could like dispatch and go down to the planet and do things or do a mission or explore like certain areas, it would be similar to that.
Right. Next. Valerie, crying face. What the fuck? How does this have 4 upvotes?
I saw that. I wasn't even going to...
Would you date another man? Oh, that's a political question. Well, we on the ES team have absolutely nothing against homosexuality, transgenderness, or bisexuality. I personally am not attracted to cock. Is that a politically correct answer? I don't know. Maybe if it were like Robert Downey Jr., I might consider David Bowie or something, but like in general, no.
He's sitting here with a straight face saying that he wouldn't date Christian Bale.
Well, okay, I might consider it.
There we go.
I feel like every like straight man who is like completely comfortable with his sexuality should be able to admit that there's that one guy that, you know, if you were ever gonna like swing the other way, be like, yeah, I'd probably be that guy. It's like, I feel like if you don't admit that, like you actually have a problem with your sexuality, or maybe we're just fucked up. I don't know. Good question, I guess.
All right, I got a question. After releasing ES, freeing the community from the evil clutches of AAA hell and setting an example for how development studios should be run, how will you continue your ascendance to the godlike stardom?
Jesus Christ! Damn.
Jesus. Well, we will continue doing as we does.
Right, and like one thing that I don't think we could ever do is like you know, say that we release ES and we make like a considerable amount of money. Like, I don't really see us becoming like a huge company ever. Like, you know, if there's not like, if I have like, I think the minute you have another layer of management where like, oh, I can't go bitch at Patrick myself. Like, let me go through like the elite artist bitcher that bitches at all the other artists. Like, I feel like you're losing like some of the agility and some of like the personality and stuff of a really good team, you know. That
I think that's what draws a lot of big AAA studios.
Yeah, I think
there's no personality. It's just copy paste this and that. I mean, it's corporate ridiculousness, I guess.
And I really feel like that's like the trick to not sucking, you know. Like, stay like id or ID Software or whatever. Stay small, stay agile. Like, be like a core member of people who are like, you know, completely like emotionally committed to this. And
we may not release
truly
games as quickly as we would like, being a smaller one and everybody having to carry their own weight, but we could keep what it is that keeps, you know, Elysian Shadows Inc.
Well, it's like 2 examples would be Doom 3, where they had probably like 50 people, and then Quake 3, where they had 10. So id Software right there. And then Resident Evil 6, I think, had 500 people working on it in total. Whereas Resident Evil 2, the core team of Resident Evil 2, or like Silent Hill 1 was like 20 people maybe, or 15 or something. So it's just like, that's obvious right there.
No, and always notice like the only like gaming analogies Connor uses are always like dark survival horror games. I wonder what kind of game this dude likes. Funny. All right, continue.
The feels.
Hey, proceed. I kind of need more Gatorade.
Will you have randomized loot stats or on loot or static planned loot gear?
Oh, that is a moral dilemma, man. Like, let me say one thing. I don't know if you've played Final Fantasy 12, but like, do you know how much I got picked? There were random drops that like.
That's why he's got to stop moving around, because nobody can hear him now.
Yeah, I know. I can hear him in the kitchen talking. I feel like we're just going to get slammed.
We're giving everybody's ears a break here.
I really don't want to start giving my answer yet in case we overlap. He's just in there ranting right now, and like no one is doing this.
He's yelling at the top of his lungs, and nobody can hear him. I can almost hear him bleeding through your.
Yeah, I mean, he's just in there going off on this right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wonder if it's going to catch up.
Falco, I agree with everything you were saying.
Hang on just a second.
Hey, no one can hear you. You keep walking around and it cuts out. Like, all of that cut out.
Yeah, I mean, like, as soon as you started giving your answer, like, oh god, and it just cut out.
Well, tell them I'm trying to not lag.
I know, I didn't want to start giving my answer until...
Are they still here?
I mean, everyone's still here. They're just like you were just frozen on the live stream.
All right, we'll keep giving answers.
All right. Anyway, I guess to kind
Also, we have almost 90 people, so don't suck without me. I'll be right back.
All right. I've played games like Phantasy Star Online. They had a little bit of like variants to the items like that, or some more recent title, I guess, like Diablo 3. Although those loot systems like that with like generated stats and like randomness to the same weapons like that works for games like that because of like grinding and just I mean, it's Diablo, come on. That doesn't really fit in our playstyle. I do believe a little bit of randomness like that, but I don't think you should have to grind the same boss like 80 million times to get 80 million of the exact same weapon, hoping to get the perfect stat drop. If you get the weapon and it spawns, like that should be the rare weapon, you know. Plus, it's a lot easier to balance that way. Not gonna lie.
So what I was saying too before I got kicked by like shitty ass connection.
Welcome
back.
back.
An epic rant. What I was saying is like as a gamer and as like a designer, like I really feel like the point of a game and what makes it enjoyable is like rewarding the player for doing like a good job or for kicking ass or something like that. And I feel like when you're rewarding them for like, okay, the fucking random number generator in your computer landed on one of like 10,000, you're really like taking away part of like the gameplay experience.
The reward system.
Yeah, you really are. Like you fundamentally like rested that. And I get that like in MMOs and online games that it has to be like that to create like artificial scarcity for the economy. But in an offline game, I feel like that's complete bullshit. I feel like you should be rewarded based on like the merit of your skill. And even if we were Elysian Shadows Online, that's still fundamentally not the kind of game we're trying to be. So if we actually do anything random, I think it will be very sparingly. It won't be like a huge.
I'd much rather have the randomness and the drops themselves, like the chance to drop or something like that, versus like you get the weapon, but it's like the shittiest version ever, and you're just pissed and you have to go get like 80 more. And then you're just like, why do I have like 80 of this super rare weapon, and you just keep throwing it away or vendoring it or whatever. Like that's dumb. I feel like if you get it, like that should be the weapon, you know.
Plus, it makes speedrunning really shitty.
Yeah, right. Gay. Do you still dual wield Windows and OS X? Oh, sunshine! I wield Windows, OS X, Linux, my Dreamcast, my Ouya. Like we have progressed far beyond dual wielding now. I'm on a different fucking OS like every day. So yeah. Like that's just like I really feel like that's part of like how you should be if you're like a platform independent developer. Like I'm not really like I'm kind of a whore in that like I'm not really committed to any one like operating system. So like you can at least rest easy that ES isn't gonna like get special treatment on Windows that everyone else isn't gonna get.
Paul Weil, will you include unique weapons like the special weapons in Phantasy Star Online? Yes.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Just yes. Will you forgive that last question I asked? I really am a fan, I promise. You're forgiven, Valerie. Absolutely.
Somebody asked, if I burn a game to a disk and put that in my toaster, how well do you think it will run?
Well, I mean, how old is your toaster? Give me some specs.
Is it a 4-slot or just 2? And does it have bagel settings? Like you need to get more information.
How long does it usually take to create toast? And like at what point is the toast like gone from like nice and crispy to burnt? Like I think that's really like the best way to gauge like the specs of your toaster.
I want to know if it blends well. You ever seen those blend? How well does it blend?
Yeah, dude, I've seen that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Let's see. Oh, someone said, let me select this one. Is the Elysian Shadows movie being filmed in 3D or can it be converted into 3D post? Also, when is the movie
black and white with no audio?
But it will still come to the IMAX.
It's a silent black and white movie.
Starring Charlie Chaplin.
Yes. By the way, we just hit 90 people in here, so like, don't start being lame.
After you finish ES, go ahead.
No. It's all you.
After you finish ES, do you plan to have your future games supported on older consoles? Well, if Valve has something to say about it, probably.
I get that question a lot. Like the only reason we would ever be like, no, we're not supporting this console, especially with like how big a console
doesn't have a good GPU,
is if like our fundamental creative vision would have to be sacrificed for the limited hardware. And as long as that's not the case, I don't see any reason we wouldn't keep supporting like everything under the sun. Like that's really the determining factor for me, like as a developer.
Do you think you could do fixed camera tank controls on the Super Nintendo? Now that's a real question by this guy right here.
By you?
Yeah.
Jesus, don't fucking ask that.
Clock Tower kind of did it.
Whoa, how do I get like a super trendy like banner that says like makes me look like a badass?
The Elysian Shadows?
Yeah, how do I do that? Hey, you guys keep answering questions. I need this. I need this in my life because I look unprofessional and shit.
Yeah, Dan will come help you. He's muted anyway.
Hey Dan, come here, dude. Help me look like a badass.
Let's see.
He's gonna make that sound smart.
We kind of already answered the will you have randomized loot stats or planned loot gear. I mean, we'll move that from the queue. Here's a good one. How do you manage your time? Do you have a to-do list for each day of development? Do you work at night and sleep by day? Well, until very recently, yes, we always have lists. I think that's part of like the ADD, ADHD-ness. Like I just always have a continual running list.
I have 4 whiteboards with sound effects notes on them all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean you've seen the whiteboard walls in this room. I have things like this running list. Nothing crossed off on that one yet. It's a little disappointing. But yeah, I mean, we worked through stuff like that, and really we had to prioritize a lot of things for this Kickstarter. Like if you notice, there wasn't a whole lot of the GUI stuff in there, as far as like health bars and things like that. It's all there. It does work. It's just a matter we had to decide that it wasn't fundamentally important to show that versus like gameplay or other things. So we had to give things a certain order of precedence or priority, obviously. Right now, we don't really have much of like a development list, but we have a ton of things for like PR, emails we got to send for this and that. Make sure we schedule podcasts. We've got Google Calendars. The entire team is included on things like that we have to stay up on, like that admin side of things right now for sure.
Are you fucking serious?
Do we work at night and sleep by day? I have not had a semblance of a sleep schedule, especially on the weekends since the beginning of the year. Since the beginning of the year, we hadn't slept on Friday nights. We'd stayed up every Friday night. Once we both quit our jobs, we got a little out of hand because we were so used to staying up. It was like day 3, and we're like, we should probably go to bed. Like we can sleep and work on a Monday now. But really, it's been usually our sleep schedule is around our other teammates too. Since like Patrick is in Poland, Leandro is in like Italy or Russia, and Connor's in Canada. Dan is here now, but he's usually over in the UK. The reason why we stayed up late like that was so that we could talk to them and work with them at a time that was convenient for them. We had team meetings and stuff like that for Skype.
So soon we have like some serious shit has just come to light. Like
don't talk about that.
Dude, I just saw that. When the fuck did this happen, dude?
Just now.
Yeah, but that's something you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, let's not say a word about that.
We already screwed up.
No, now you told everyone, and they're going to be like, oh my god, something bad happened.
No one said anything about what it is.
Now we don't have a fucking choice. No, we should tell them. We should keep them
I don't
involved
think you
in everything.
understand what professionalism and how you handle these situations. If it is a situation as it is being described, it's not something you're supposed to talk about on the live stream. All you say to everybody that's watching is that it does not affect Elysian Shadows in any real way. It's just something that we have to deal with.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
The Canadian has spoken. But never mind.
Well,
Never
actually,
mind.
you're the one who would get in trouble for it. So say whatever you want.
Wait, why would I get?
But
all right, never mind. All right.
Apparently, people love the toaster comment. By the way, I've had a couple people on Facebook who were like, "That was the best reaction ever."
Well, all right. So real quick, this dude is like, "Why didn't you answer my question about how level data is stored? It was one of the few questions, lol, and it had +10." First of all, that is actually sitting in my queue because I clicked on it because I was going to answer it. Then Dan came in and gave me some news.
I saw it disappear from my queue. Yeah.
So that was literally something I was about to answer. But now it disappeared, so I don't remember exactly what you said. But it's something about, how level data is stored. So basically it is a proprietary binary format. And we're not using anything like XML because, it's very inefficient as far as storage and as far as parsing goes, which is not something good for like loading from a Dreamcast or something like that. It's a very like minimalized file type that is just binary that we write out on apparently my dad's watching the live stream. Sorry. That we write out from our toolkit. Yes. Hey, if I did not answer all of that, which is highly likely, please ask that again, and I will less half-ass it next time. Sorry.
Actually, if your dad's in the thing, why don't you just ask him, and then by the end of the live stream, we can know if we can tell anybody. So
my dad doesn't even know what the news is.
Yeah, well, I mean, just go phone him, and then if you are said not to talk about it, or you can, then we don't have to leave people in.
But you guys aren't very interesting, and we have 90 viewers. I don't know. I don't really want to.
Dude, we have Dan. He just has to start talking in that accent.
He's literally sitting across from me, so if I mute myself, you guys can talk to Dan.
Hey, Dan, say something in that accent, dude.
Yeah.
We were at the beach at Panama, and Dan was our secret weapon. We'd be like, Dan, you need to talk to them because you have the accent.
Dan, tell me about Harry Potter.
Say, oi,
mate. Oi, mate. You wanker.
Wanker. That's it. That's Dan. How many hours would you say Elysian Shadows is in length, based on just doing the main quest? Not sure if there's side quests, but I'd imagine there is. That's something we've talked about too. We really want to go with the standard, I think PlayStation 1 era length of an RPG, which I feel like Chrono Cross, the Final Fantasy 7 through 9 games like that all tend to be about 40 hours of main storyline. But absolutely, we're huge on side quests. We're huge on we at all points in time during ES, we want you to have so much other shit to do that's not just let's go from point A to point B to progress the main storyline, and that's something that we've always been conscious of as developers. So we really we say this and we truly want to do it. We want to do something more 100 hours for if you're going to do all of the side quests, get every weapon and stuff like that. I would say something more 100 hours. Whereas if you're just going from point A to point B, kicking people's asses along the way, that would be more 40 hours.
Or get out your Game Genie and speedrun it in 10 minutes or something.
Dude, if someone figures out how to Game Genie ES, send me an email and we're gonna hire you on the team. Before you leak it, if you figure out how to hack our game or reverse engineer it, email us first.
And before the game is released. That's impressive.
That would be, and then tell us who it was that gave you all the assets. That would be awesome.
Let me tell you. Let me give you a little bit of advice. I've seen a lot of developers and stuff. There's a lot of hackers out there who are they're into programming like we are, and what they do, they don't necessarily make games, they reverse engineer games. And there's two kinds of people that do this. The motherfuckers who reverse engineer them and leak it, and they're fuck these guys. You can now steal all their hard work and do it for free, and I hate these guys.
Or you port Quake to Linux, and then id Software hires the guy.
Exactly. No, yeah. Or you come out and you email us and you're like, dude, I found a vital security hole in your code, or I found this, and we're genuinely impressed with you, and we're like, shit, dude, you want to come aboard? There's a way to do that right. There truly is, and do not be that dick, because I swear to God,
Yeah, not dropping any names. That happened with Watermelon, where somebody broke their physical security on their cartridge for the Genesis.
Right.
Was able to pull the ROM and try to put up a torrent and stuff for the game, saying that it should be free and all this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, if someone did that to ES, and it's like, first of all, it's our hard work. Who are you to say that it should be free?
Me.
But what?
Kick this guy.
But I mean, like, that's impressive. By all means, approach us. Like, I mean, you may very well have the skill set to sit here on the ES team bench along with us.
Right. All right. Next. You constantly mention the drive and determination of your team. Do you have any advice on how to find team members who are as driven as you? You know, I wish I did. Like, if I did, we wouldn't have had so many motherfuckers quit. Like, I don't. Like, honestly, we're very unconventional, and we're, like, very, I don't want to say blessed, but, like, we're very fortunate that we've been, like, doing this YouTube thing for so long, because, like, it was through YouTube and through our popularity there that we were able to reach, like, people all around the world who are game developers.
All the remote members.
And we would have never been able to do that if we weren't on YouTube. And that's really, like, how we picked up such, like, like, passionate people, minus Connor, but, like...
You give him so much out.
No, but I truly wish I could answer that better, but I can't, because I know that, like...
I can.
For us, it was a privilege. Oh, really?
Yeah, because somebody actually emailed me specifically about this in my Elysian Shadows email account. So what I said to him was, just start going and doing your thing by yourself, and then work really hard at making sure people know you're making a game. Have a blog, have a YouTube series, something like that, and kind of be transparent about it. And if you're making something really cool, at some point somebody will stumble on it and go, I really want to be a part of this, because that's the way that everybody except for Tyler and Falco are in ES right now. Yeah. So just don't wait until you find the people. Just go and start really digging into it and making sure what you're doing is cool. And then people will always look at it and be like, dude, I want to make it sound cool.
And don't be discouraged when some of those people end up leaving because they find out that they didn't quite have what it takes, or they don't have that dedication. I mean,
don't ever let that get to you, man.
Or they get a girlfriend or something.
Or they get a girlfriend, or they break up. That's a big one. Make sure like you have people on your team who are like completely asexual, so like they have
only single people,
or really ugly. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. I think I don't actually know. I don't know where to draw the line. But like something else, like they were saying, just like reach out to them. We were never like, dude, we're looking. Well, okay, a couple times, but like we were like, dude, we're looking for like this and this and this. They just kind of reached out to us, and like we weren't necessarily receptive, and then we click on their music and we're like, Jesus Christ, this guy needs to be on the team.
Yeah, like I don't think you guys said necessarily like outright you're really looking for a musician, but on the live stream you said that you'd fired the guy before me.
Right.
I just went straight ahead and sent you or Patrick an email. So it's.
I really hope the guy we fired is watching this right now, because that would just make my day. But, and like even after the Kickstarter, man, you get so many emails when you launch a Kickstarter from people wanting a piece of the pie. And a lot of these people, they just want to get in on it. But some of these people are, like, incredibly talented. We got an email. Let me plug her. We got an email from a girl. What was her name? Hey, Dan.
A voice actor?
Yes. We got an email from a voice actress who like, she's trying to get discovered and stuff. And she sent us, like, some of her work. And we hadn't really discussed, like, voice acting in ES, So at first we're like, I don't know. But, like, we started listening to this, and we're like, oh my God, this girl is genuinely talented. And like, even if like we don't necessarily have a place for her in the team, like I respect like her work. I respect the fact she did that. So like now, we want to like tell our other friends who need voice actresses and stuff like about this chick, because she's really good. And I wish I had her contact info. So yeah, if you're looking for a voice actress, message me. And yeah,
I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you find that, then Falco and Tyler, what type of keyboard do you prefer typing and coding on?
Oh my God.
We like the loudest, like angriest, like mechanical keyboards you could get. Like, I don't know, something about like click 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 click.
I carry for my laptop when I'm sitting here at Falco's room. I carry a Satec Eclipse with me just because it's worn in. But I've got a mechanical keyboard at home that I use, Razer mechanical keyboard, that it sounds like machine gun fire, and everybody hates me when I use it, but it's just so satisfying.
Oh, it's so satisfying. You're like sitting there in the zone, like coding. It's like.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but
it sounds like a machine gun, man. That's the keyboard.
The woman that we're talking about, the voice actress, is Mel Gorsha, Melgorsha. She's on IMDb, and that's the girl we're talking about.
Yes, yes. So check her out. All right, let's see. With the online save system, could I save on my Xbox One and continue on my Dreamcast, PS4, etc.? Yes, that is absolutely the plan. Unless, like, literally Microsoft or Sony come in and they're like, no, we're not going to let you do this. We're not going to, like, let your game on our platform if you do something like that. Which I don't know. You know, like, I don't know. They could. Like, unfortunately, we don't have control over that. But yes, that's the plan. And, like, it's technically feasible. Like, we're engineers. We know how to do it. It's just a matter of if they're going to cock-block us or not. So
there's two questions that are really similar. There's a limit to how much you can put on a CD-ROM to play on the Dreamcast. How do you guys think you might hit that limit? If so, how will you deal with it? And then the second question was, how will DLC work on the Dreamcast?
Quadruple discs.
So basically, for getting everything to fit on one disc, we basically need to tell Connor to stop fucking making so much music. I'm just kidding. I don't think it's that big of a deal because the way our assets are stored, they're PNGs, and like because it's all sprite based, the images are actually
most of the discs are probably going to be music. So yeah,
no, absolutely.
I ain't stopping to deal with it.
Music, it is literally like music is an order of magnitude larger than the graphics or like those scripts for ES. So it's all going to come down to music. So. I really think like 750 megs should be enough. But like worst case, you know, there's nothing stopping us from it being a multi-disc Dreamcast release. It's like, did that really like mess up the experience of Final Fantasy VII or any of those games? No, it didn't. So like, and that also brings me to DLC for the Dreamcast. A lot of people are giving a shit or like completely like these guys are fucking idiots. They don't know what they're talking about because we discussed wanting to do DLC on everything. But what you have to keep in mind is you can burn a swap disk for the Dreamcast for DLC, like worst case ever scenario. B, the Dreamcast has a whole bunch of peripherals like the SD card reader where you could actually like put the DLC on there. You could stream it over the network with a broadband adapter or LAN adapter. There's a lot of different avenues we could take. So like it's not really fair to be like, oh, the Dreamcast is not going to be able to support this. So yeah, we would not purposely like cockblock a console like that. Is what I'm trying to say. So that takes care of two questions. Yes. Connor. Oh my God! Someone asked a question specifically for him, and he runs off. Oh.
Saw it. He's like, oh.
How do I like? Hold on, let me copy this question so when he comes back.
Or mark it in yours so you can just read it back to him.
That's what I did, but it disappeared, man. All right, whatever. Move on. I got it. Wait, Connor. He's gonna put his headset back on. Hey, yo, we got a question for you.
Oh, really?
Hey, yeah, I know, man. You're famous. Question for Connor: what are your favorite VST plugins, and what stuff are you using to make the music for Elysian Shadows?
Okay, when I first joined the team, I was using FL Studio, and I'm now using Cakewalk Sonar Producer's Edition. It's whatever. It's like XE. I don't remember what exactly it's called, but as far as VSTs go, REFX stuff like Nexus, Plastics, Vanguard is awesome. Let me think for a second. There's Rob Papin. He does like Blue, because Blue's like my all-time favorite VST. He does a couple other ones, Predator, and Punch. Punch, I think Punch. I don't know. Those are sick. And then there's like I got this VST that Tulio was using for the Pure Solar soundtrack, so I kind of got that going, which is pretty sweet. And then I have like this gigantic folder. Well, I have 3 separate folders. I have one that's all drum samples, so just like gigs of snares and kicks and stuff. Then the second one is like all of my favorite music, so if I actually want to sample from the music, I have all of it there. And then the third one is all ripped audio files of all of my favorite movies. So if I want to take quotes or weird noises in the background or something, I could take that. And then the thing that happened this week was I just discovered that you can take these like Super Nintendo songs, like the SPC, I don't remember what files, SPC files.
Yeah, SPC.
And you can play them with like an emulator thing, and then take out the separate channels. So I was like listening to the Super Mario RPG soundtrack with just drums, and then recording that, and then sampling all of the different instruments from the Super Nintendo.
Right. So how the hell? How did you sample from the Genesis if you didn't know you could do that? Or did you know you could do that on the Genesis?
Because at the start of Sonic the Hedgehog 2's Metropolis Zone, like, the start of the track is just drums, right?
Oh.
So when I took those drum samples out, there was no music over top. But now,
you clever motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, that's all the hip-hop artists back in the day. Like, they'd take jazz songs, in the middle of the jazz songs, it would have that or whatever. They would take that little chunk and make a hip-hop song.
That's
I can beatbox too. You see that?
Yeah.
I got to do that in the sound.
Multi-talented. We need to sample that. Put that shit in. Go back from the live stream.
All right. Next question. Can you go into more detail about the story? And so many people have asked that, and I didn't realize that we were so vague on our storyline. Like the problem is that like we have this very intricate storyline with like some very pivotal plot twists, and like we're not yet sure how to like present that without like completely fucking over like this storyline that we think is beautiful that needs to be experienced a certain way. So like kind of what we've done is we've given like a more like back, you pick up the game and like you read the back of the box. Like that's kind of like what we've revealed to the storyline, but I guess that's not enough for the masses. So we'll try. Okay, so like something that, like, I don't know if I've driven home enough. Like, the storyline is very much about a conflict between magic and technology. I think everyone's, like, established that at this point. Like, magic is something that's used by, like, the religious people. It's more like a gift from the creator or from their god. It's something that's bestowed upon them for being faithful. Whereas the other people in the game, people like scholars, explorers, people who are more scientifically oriented, they rely on technology, and they're basically heretics to the people who use magic. So there's this constant, almost like religious conflict of philosophically, like, why are you meddling in this shit? Why aren't you using magic? Why are you using magic and you're not like learning more about the world or improving yourself? And the idea for this actually came from, honestly, like, we wanted to create a story that had parallels in real life. I think, like, artistically, like, that's the key to making an emotional connection with a story. If it's too like far-fetched,
that's why Stephen King always writes about himself, basically.
Right. And I am kind of writing about myself and like my portions of this, but like in all seriousness, like, as a modern technologically advanced society, we really do have the same dilemmas. That the whole religion versus technology thing is a parallel, I think, that we found from like things like stem cell research,
Alabama.
cloning.
Yeah, I used to work
in research, cloning,
technology research facilities.
The human genome. We're able to do things now that a lot of people are arguing we should not be meddling with. We're able to do things through science and technology that were previously like powers reserved only for God. And you have these people who are saying like, you're fucking with something you should not be fucking with. But then you also have people who are saying like, this is for the betterment of humanity. This is for the betterment of humankind, and that's really what I think it has inspired, like, the core of our story. Like, okay, someone's knocking on the door. Who the fuck do we know? Continue. If I get shot, then I don't know. If I get shot, the template book is on my shelf. You're gonna need the
blue one. Yeah.
If Falco gets shot, we'll get Marcel to replace him.
Oh God, no.
Hey, holy shit! It is a pizza delivery. Hey. Did someone order pizza?
Tyler, is there anybody on the team that actually is more on the, like, not on the science side of that debate? You know what I mean?
What do you mean, like, more religious than like what we've made that?
Is there anybody on their team that would not go almost all the way to the science side?
I don't know. I guess that's kind of the reason why we have all you crazy fuckers. First of all, is that,
dude, good luck.
I'm not gonna lie, I am atheist. But I've grown up here in the South. I mean, I'm very respectful of everybody else's beliefs and whatnot, but it seems to be kind of the mentality of the team that
neighbors don't even know Elysian shadows
of every way. So I don't think there is anybody that has very strong religious ties, though.
All right, let's see. Where are we at?
My cat's meowing. One
second. There's a question for Connor about the OST on iTunes.
What?
There's a question for me. I just gotta go get my cat. He's meowing.
Dude. Okay, well, we'll save that one.
Was that really pizza though? Like somebody?
Yeah, but it's not for us. She got the wrong house, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. I don't
Someone was
know.
trolling us.
I don't know. Literally, I have
did.
no idea like which way the house numbers go. I've only lived here for like 3 years, and I don't know. Good luck.
Just send him next door to that new chick.
Yeah, she's nice. She'll help. So Connor will be back. How big is the world in Elysian Shadows? And with DLC, do you plan on expanding the world and giving us more of the land to explore? Yeah, I think that was definitely the plan for DLC. That was something that we wanted, like to give you to make it like more like an ongoing thing with DLC.
Especially like post events of the story and things.
How big is the world, man? It's so hard to like quantify like a size like in comparison. Like I will say like the reason we don't have like an overworld map is because we wanted to create a world that like had this strong sense of exploration to where you felt like, when you go from one town to another, you're like, dude, I literally had to fucking like cross through the forest and like beat the shit out of some tree creatures and like, or I had to swim through the swamp. I feel like when you just have an overworld, you're missing that sense of adventure. Like imagine when you were a kid and you played Pokemon, and like you got to like Route 2 or whatever and you came out of like Diglett Cave or Zubat Cave, whatever, Mount Moon, and you're like, dude, I fucking made it to Cerulean City. Like it was
barely
like,
crawling after all the
you were on a journey, and I feel like that's pivotal to like a good RPG experience. Yeah. That's what we want.
Going to an overworld map breaks that so much, like.
I love Chrono Trigger to death, but like even Chrono Trigger, like I feel like they lost a lot of potential exploration and a lot of like cohesion with like the storyline and stuff, like by not having one big cohesive world. I don't know. That's our response.
Now that Connor is back, it says, Connor, are you thinking about releasing OST to iTunes? Is there even a thing for game soundtracks on iTunes? Also, everyone should check out his SoundCloud.
Thanks, man.
Connor, did you post that yourself? He's like,
I gotta go check on my cat.
yeah, what the fuck? He checks on his cat and like comes back and go for it.
I've never put anything on iTunes because all this stuff on ConnorLiving.com is for free download if anybody wants to check it out. So I've never done that, but I'm totally. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm totally down with putting the soundtrack wherever if that's what the team wants to do. So. I'm not against it, even though I'm not the biggest Apple fan on the planet, to say the least.
I would totally put the game on, or the soundtrack on iTunes. Like, I think that's cool with all of us.
Yeah,
like,
so then if everybody wants to do it,
I don't see why not. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, so if everybody wants to do it on team, then yeah, sure.
Make it easier to put that shit on my iPhone.
Somebody said it'll be super fun the day that we can play the game. We'll be able to give the feedback from our player experience from the beta access from the Kickstarter.
Yeah, is that so you have beta access? Yeah, man. It's weird. Like at first, like I didn't know if we wanted to do beta access. Like it's so intimate, man. Like we're working on this game and like pouring our hearts and souls into it, and here we are, like letting people see it before we're ready for like the world to see our baby, And I feel like
see all the crazy bugs.
Like as a developer, I'm like, I don't know. Do I really want to like let people see that? But then like I don't know. I have this sense of like. They can help us make the game better, or like hopefully they'll understand that this is a work in progress. Hopefully like
I feel like the people that got that, just like you, Superfan, they understand. They've been around the project long enough to understand that we try our best to be transparent about the process. And just like in Egg, you'll see something crash or some craziness. Like tell us if something like that happens.
It's inevitable.
Right. I'm like, it will happen.
and part of the beta backing, dude, is we really want, like, it will be a while before we're to a point where there will be a beta, but, like, right after the Kickstarter, we wanted to make, like, a private development forum where everyone who has, like, beta access or who's going to get, like, the custom items and NPCs, we wanted to, like, keep you in, like, an inner circle, even if you're not testing yet, like run design decisions by you, like, keep you updated with things, because you're kind of, like, the core audience to us is the way that I'm seeing it now.
The inner circle of
just making sure we're not doing something fucking crazy or stupid,
keep us in check.
Keep us in line, yeah.
I mean, that's what we do on the team anyway. I mean, I think we'll just get a much broader opinion about it. So.
Right.
Also, someone else said that they totally almost ordered this pizza, and then this guy said, "What is your address? What kind of pizza do you like?" Connor did that when Leandro was in town. I forgot that he said he was going to order us pizza, and we were actually grilling out. And like this pizza guy shows up, he's like, "Hey, is blah blah blah? Is this you guys order pizza?" And we're all like, "What?" And like I had forgotten that you'd ordered pizza for us, Connor. And I almost told the guy no. I was like, "Oh, we didn't." I mean, like, and he's like, he showed us the receipt and it had our address. I'm like, "Oh wait." This guy says, "I'm going to start a Kickstarter to fund the $5,000 to spend a week with you awesome motherfuckers." All right,
dude, that's really funny. Like we had another guy who got that tier. Like, there's a tier for, actually you don't need $5,000 to do that. There's a $500 tier. There's a $500 tier that's basically the experience, which is like just come hang out with us. And like someone bought that, and he's like, "Look, I don't know anything about game development. Like, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a programmer, an artist, a musician. But like, I have been watching you motherfuckers on YouTube for so long that like I just have to come hang out with you." And I'm like,
he's obliged to.
And now, dude, now I'm like genuinely excited. I'm like, damn, I can't wait to like chill with this guy. Like, I can't wait to like have a beer with this dude. Like, I don't know.
Rock band.
It's exciting. Like, I feel like indirectly, like, damn, we grew up with this dude. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
I mean, there's a couple fans that are like that. When we started seeing pledges come in and stuff, especially on like that first live stream we did when we launched, I had to be careful about saying names and stuff for privacy reasons. But like, I recognize these names from people on Facebook that either like or comment on our stuff, or like YouTube comments that I've seen for like years, and I'm like, wow, like, I mean, that's whether or not they gave like $5,000 or $1. I was like, I know that guy, or like I know that guy. Like I've just seen all these familiar names on a list like that.
I know, man. And like I saw some people like I saw some people that like that contributed. Some of them contributed a lot. Who like I didn't think they gave a shit about ES. I didn't think that like they had any respect for what I did. I thought that they just thought I was like some crazy kid developing a game in my house. And like when I saw them contribute, I was like, oh my god, like I'm getting emotional. Like there's too many feelings here. I need to like go thank them.
That said, I guess he's like a master's in like quantum computing or something like that, and we had like inspired him to push himself further, or to like quit his job to work on something else.
Yeah,
Jesus
Christ. I like that guy.
Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. Let me grab this question. This one says, "I'm 18 and I'm quite new to game development. I've created simple projects in OpenGL and now I'm currently using Unity's 2D engine. How important is developing your own engine for flexibility, or should I continue with Unity?"
That is a very loaded question. See, the thing is, it depends on your goal. Like, are you trying to just make a fucking game, Like, is that your ultimate goal? Like, for me, I have like this unhealthy obsession with like being an engineer, and like I want to know like I want to know every aspect of what every fucking C code is doing in assembly and what all the fucking transistors are doing. Like I am an engineer at heart, Like it's very important to me to like be a control freak and have complete control over my engine. But like there are other designers and developers out there who aren't like that. They just want to make a fucking game, and like Unity has like a whole bunch of shit for you. You can jump in and make a game faster, So just ask yourself what the end goal is. If you want to become like a C++ god, then yes, it's very important to build your own engine. If you just want to make your first game, then no, you're fine with Unity.
Sheeran Darkstar says,
"Oh,
you think I came for the conversation? Shake those maracas for me, you magnificent bastard." Somebody else asked, like, I heard there would be maracas.
Really? Okay, I'll hook that shit up. You keep talking.
Oh, Jesus.
I have the Dreamcast in the other room. I didn't think anyone gave a shit. Now I have like 95 people.
Also, if this starts echoing, please tell me, because he's now in the same room with me.
You might have to leave.
Actually, there's a question here that I saw by Blair's. Why does Connor leave right before someone asks him a question? It's because my cat, when it comes inside or outside, he meows and just continuously meows until you come and get him. So
that's what he wants you to think.
So this guy said, "My pledge includes beta access, and I know I'm going to want to play it. I feel as though getting beta access might spoil the game for me. How do you feel about that?"
Hey, real quick, Home Skillet, I saw that comment on Facebook, and I really meant to respond to it, but like I'm so popular on Facebook now, I didn't have time. I'm just kidding. It's like really douchey of me. But like I saw that, and you know what? Like, there's actually someone on our team, Eddie, who doesn't want to look at the design document and who doesn't even check the storyline for him because he doesn't want it to be ruined. So, like, I completely understand that. So, like, you have beta access. Like, it's more than just testing. Like, you could still just hang out in, like, the private forum and, like, you know, read about ideas and give advice, you know, even if you don't want to, like, ruin the gameplay experience, you know?
I mean,
so,
I'm
like,
sure we'll have some rules for, like, spoiler tags and stuff like that for people, too, so.
Right. So no, like, I really do understand. And, like, if that's how you feel, then, yeah, maybe you don't want to beta it, but I would like to think that, like, we'll be able to get something else, you know, for your contribution in the private development forum.
And, was it you, Dan, that said that, like, you tried to avoid reading most of the story, you didn't want to spoil it too much, or was that Eddie, or?
That was Eddie.
Eddie?
Yeah, it was Eddie.
Dan better read the fucking story.
Well, I did it first.
Actually, Blaine Humphreys had a question. He's in here. What's up, Blaine?
Hey, Blaine, are you sober? We get a call like a couple nights ago. Like, Blaine is like roaming around like Atlanta, Georgia, like drunk as shit after like not Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, after some like gaming convention. I don't know, like really drunk. It was fucking awesome. That's how I knew we hit it big, is because like we're getting the press calling us drunk.
He said, what conventions are you guys going to be showing the game off at? Siege, Indiecade, PAX, etc. What conventions do you think ES will make its public debut? Well, we've got plans for Siege, hopefully. We would love to go to PAX and everywhere else. As far as like public debut, Siege may be a little early. We would love to push for that. That's October 2nd or something like that. At what Kickstarter goal can we get Marcel back? I miss all of the team members. Do you plan on including everyone in the credits?
Marcel just moved away to Colorado today.
Literally.
He's not even here anymore. He just moved away. And yeah, of course we're going to include everyone in the credits. Like, I'm a firm believer in giving credit where credit is due, and I think we will even include people in the credits who I feel like do not deserve to be in the credits. So I will do it because, like, I don't know, it's the right thing to do.
It is.
So yes, they will be in the credits.
What platforms will the beta be available on? I can understand if you've not decided yet. As far as I know, it'll. I mean, obviously,
that's a good question. Yeah, that's.
I don't know if Dreamcast will be included in that.
I would like
yes, tongue in cheek.
I would like to say Dreamcast and Ouya would both be included in that also. I'm not positive, or like if they're included, maybe it'll be like a week or two later that those are beta testable. I'm not positive. That's a really good fucking. Yeah, but then again, like, how do you distribute like a Dreamcast beta? You know, it's got to be like an ISO that they burn. So like, there's some logistical shit we have to consider there, gentlemen. Put this on the agenda for like tomorrow when we're actually fucking working. We need to consider this.
Yeah, I'll write it on the wall.
It's a good question, guys. Send me a resume. That's a really good question. Oh, okay, Tyler, you're not answering questions. Okay, can we see?
Replying on Skype. Sorry, internal.
Can we see the Dreamcast build now? No. Nope. You can't. Nope. Nope. You cannot.
Elysian Shadow support modding. Well, obviously we've got a stretch goal for community content.
Yeah, that's basically what that is.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Depends. If we hit the stretch goal, yes. If not, that may come much later. If it comes. You should give us more money. Are you going to be at the E3 conference? Yeah.
I wish. Like, no one's invited us to E3. I would like to
get an invite. The Elysian Shadows shall be represented.
Oh yeah, totally. If we get an invite, dude, we'll go to all the conventions. But like, I don't know. We haven't had an invite. I think people still think we're crazy until we hit our funding goal. Then we'll start getting the invites. Right now, we're just the crazy fuckers trying to make a Dreamcast game who are actually pulling it off so far. Now it has to be that we're the crazy fuckers who are going to make this Dreamcast game.
Don't worry, Falco. You can be Falco Fish when you get funding from the Canadian government for your game.
Yes. Dude, I can't wait to meet Phil Fish. Like, I hope he goes to conferences like that.
I'd love to meet the guy.
All the guys on Indie Game the Movie, I just want to meet them.
Both of you can share his scarf, you know.
I'll grow my chops out with him, dude.
Yeah, we were actually joking about doing that too, as far as like growing out our hair or just like beard, like waiting for the Kickstarter to begin, like that month and a half. But it's way too humid and hot in Alabama. This is just beyond itchy and miserable.
Yeah, although Tyler, I have to say that if you're gonna grow up chops and not do it as a tribute to Isaac Asimov, you should be very disappointed in yourself.
I would have to get some glasses and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dude, you're totally not clicking. Okay.
Let's see. What platforms would they be on? Oh, I already answered that one.
Yep.
Well, this is more of a statement than a question. I'll bring my guitar and massive amp and rip apart the neighborhood. Can I come and co with you guys? I run on Red Bull and no sleep. Do you have a poor man's musician contributor tier for $250? Well, Falco's neighbor is actually a loud bassist, or used to be. It's been a while since we've heard him jamming over there.
He's a basser.
Bass is the worst because you can like feel it rumbling your foot.
I know, yeah, I know. Yeah, we might be able to work something out. Message me on Facebook. Message me on Facebook. Let's see.
I've actually got a bunch of Facebook messages jumping off right now too. I'm trying to reply to these people as well.
How's Peter and Marcel doing? Oh my God, why? They're doing well. They're just not here with us, and they're not on the team anymore, so we don't really know for sure.
I mean, we see them. I mean, well, I won't probably want to see Marcel ever again, but
right. I mean, it's just. I mean, like we're on good terms, and like everyone keeps asking about Peter and Marcel. We're not on bad terms. They left of their own free will. They no longer had the drive to work on this project. They no longer shared the creative vision. You know, there's nothing we could do to keep them here, and like.
I mean, you have to want.
And now we have a team that is like doing everything right, that has the drive, has the passion. You know, like I don't know. I feel like I don't really want to live in the past, you know, because like they had their opportunity all the way up until the end. We were like asking both of them to like come back and and be on the team, but they did not want to. So end of story.
This guy asked, "Do you write beautiful code, or do you just want stuff to work and then refactor later?" I really want to say I write the most majestic code you've ever seen, but that would be a lie. A lot of times, I mean, especially like different subsystems for like the inventory, like item wheel and stuff like that. I mean, that kind of stuff will be moved to the engine eventually, but it is being prototyped in Lua, so it is very robust and hideous beyond reason. But more recently, it's been very, very much cleaned up. Depending upon what it is, like behaviors for AI, I've gotten really good at doing lately. Usually it is pretty beautiful, but working into like the inventory system or pathfinding, it's a beast.
I'm gonna be the dick who says I do write beautiful code. I mean, like when I code, I am on the whiteboard and on paper before I ever type it up, and I like it is a completely like. It's like a right-brained, like, artistic thing for me where I see, like, the objects and the classes, and I create, like, this software, like, paradigm, you know, before I ever write a line of code, and that's just the way I do it. So, like, I don't know. I think my code's fucking beautiful. A lot of people think my code's ugly because it's very... I don't know. Very. I have like 10 layers of templates, and like I have a way of.
The best part about Falco's code is when like I'm trying to debug something. I've got Qt open, and it takes me somewhere in the engine code or what have you, and like I'm trying to figure out what the hell is happening right here, and I just see this comment that's just like Jesus Christ, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Dude, I think my code's beautiful, but like I very much am into like creating very. I don't know. I have like my own style, and I use a lot of things that are like more advanced, like C or C++ features that I think like a lot of, no offense, mediocre programmers look at it and they're like, Jesus, what the fuck is this guy doing? This is disgusting. But like, it's because they really can't appreciate what I've done. I don't know. All right.
Somebody asked, what brand or whatever is all of the whiteboard in the room where Tyler is? Is it good?
Actually, dude, it's amazing, man. That whiteboard was like the best investment we ever made, because like we would always have like buy like 2 or 3 whiteboards, and we would always run out of space.
Like dented up, or like eventually like it won't erase well, like the really cheap ones you get from Walmart or something like that.
Right. So we took the plunge and we're like, fuck it, I'm gonna paint this whole room with whiteboard paint, and it was the best investment we ever made. Like I don't erase things anymore. Like there's plenty of whiteboard room. Just pull up a wall and write up from the floor to the ceiling, and as long as you sand your wall to make it nice and smooth beforehand, it works like a dream. Like you can erase
out the nails.
Yeah. So I totally recommend it. Totally recommend it.
I'm still stuck with 4 physical whiteboards. Maybe when I have my own house one day, I'll do that.
Question: what math do you feel was the most important to know for your engine game development, and was it different math for actual game development? By far, without a doubt, linear algebra is the most important branch of mathematics for computer graphics. Like, it's fundamental. Like that's the way things are represented as vectors. That there's a lot of like Euclidean spatial mathematics and shit going on. You need to be good at linear algebra to do a lot of like 3D stuff and 3D transformations and things. But I also feel like that's also the most important thing for doing the higher level gameplay stuff. So I'm definitely going to have to say linear algebra. Which is funny because like you're in school and like you take linear algebra and you're like, when the fuck am I ever going to use this? Everyone at school said that, and I said that too. Like, why am I learning like the eigenvectors and stuff? And then like I started, like getting more advanced in our engine and game development. I was like, oh my god, this is real math. So yeah, please pay attention to linear algebra.
I had somebody message me on Facebook and they said, just found my bagel setting, now refactoring an equation form from toast to burnt toast.
Jesus. I'll be right back. I'm getting food real quick. Oh shit, 97 viewers. Don't scare them off. 1 sec.
See, as a longtime fan but newbie to 2D RPGs, what would you recommend to introduce me to the genre? Obviously we cite things like Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, maybe some of the older Final Fantasies. Original Phantasy Star is actually for like the Genesis. They're really hardcore though, not gonna lie. Get your ass kicked. I did. I draw some of my influences from like the older Castlevanias as well, not like the newer. Jesus, thank you. Not like Lords of Shadow or anything like that, but like the older stuff like Castlevania Bloodlines or Symphony of the Night. Like the kind of action that we're kind of fast-paced going for is kind of like that. I don't know. I already said like Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana. You want to answer that 2D question?
Wait, what? Good question.
So I had to get caffeine and protein bars.
He said, as a longtime fan but newbie to 2D RPGs, what game would you recommend to introduce me to the genre?
Chrono Trigger. Just Chrono Trigger. To introduce you, Chrono Trigger. Yeah. Secret of Mana is good, but I think Chrono Trigger is a better introduction. Without a doubt. Okay.
Definitely got the feels.
Well, you guys continue to show the progress of how the game's doing on Adventures in Game Development. There was a recent video pre-Kickstarter showing a good approach to building the world. That would be nice to see. Yeah, that's why we also have the stretch goal that is like if we reach a certain point, we'll do it every single week. If we don't hit that, we'll still do it, but probably not every week. But yeah, we want to keep doing that, and we feel like that's kind of like crucial to why people are so invested and appreciate this project so much, is because we've been so open about our development process. Yeah,
I mean, we would definitely love to do it weekly if we can.
Right.
It's a lot of upkeep, because especially like right now, I mean, we're trying to release some of the videos and stuff for the Kickstarter, but we've got not just like the code stuff going on, but the PR and all the other admin stuff. And
oh shit!
Tried to film as much as we can, but yeah.
But yeah, we're totally going to keep doing Adventures in Game Development. They're only going to get better.
I'm going anywhere. Yeah. This guy said, "I'm from the UK, currently 4 a.m. and staying up for the live stream." Awesome.
I love you, man. I love you.
And Dan just gave you the thumbs up on that one.
They both shit the queen.
So this guy said,
technically I'm supposed to too because I'm Canadian, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought this was Daniel Radcliffe because I read it so quickly. It's Daniel Raphael.
Whoa, hold on. I already backed the game, but will Falco still do a stupid stunt for my money? Absolutely. What is it you want me to do? I'm ready.
If we have a flashlight bright enough for outside, but we can try.
I'll totally do it. Jump off the roof. Let's go. Need a flashlight. I have done some programming before, such as Java and C#. How should I go about learning C++? Do not...
Learn C.
Do what?
Learn C and then do C++.
Well, no, not if you started with C# and Java. That's way more.
No, but then you learn the C side of it, and then you go to C++.
I don't know. I feel like it's easier to go the other way. I feel like if you already know those two, you should really like just try to basically jump into it. Like it's similar enough to Java and C# that like you could already start like looking at like code examples and stuff, and that you don't need to be reading like a book from cover to cover because you're wasting your time, because those are pretty similar languages. You know, like find some. I don't know what you're trying to do, but like if you're trying to make a game, you know, find some code examples for rendering a sprite or whatever, and like check them out and like add your own code, and like you'll kind of pick up C++ organically like that, and it's really not that different from C# and Java.
Two things. One, somebody just said I backed you with 125 USD. Can I please see Falco make magic happen with the maracas now?
Yeah, dude, like I'm trying to do it, but these guys in the back room, like it's fucking echoing, and yes, if he just paid us money.
I can move. Or mute my shit.
Move your ass. No, don't mute your shit, 'cause it's going to take me a minute to set up in there. But yes, he paid for this.
Now, Falco is absolutely 100% okay with whoring himself out for this project.
I am.
As is every other team member.
Well, I don't know. I just hit things.
Drill holes in the beer kegs.
Yeah, just so everybody knows about that beer keg solo, is that I drew a gigantic hole in the bottom of that beer keg so I could put the microphone in there. Cool story, bro.
Alright. I guess while we wait, someone else had another question.
Keep answering
why you
questions.
started to create your own engine, and why not use one CryEngine, Unreal, or so for the game?
Because they're sadistic.
First of all, Dreamcast. Second of all, creating our own engine, we have so much more control over everything. Instead of having to work around like the nuances and intricacies of Unity or little shortcomings of whatever, you know, if we have an issue where we want to do like, hey, I want like this kind of shadow, or I want, you know, this perspective to look this way, I just bitch at Falco until he makes it so.
Well, we did make a bunch of money during this stream. Yeah, we'll totally do dumb shit for him.
Also, we plan on hopefully doing these every weekend till the Kickstarter finishes out. So,
yes.
If you could go back in time 6 years, what advice would you say to yourself, and why? Trying to think how to not offend a couple people I know are watching. I would say never give up. I mean, there has been a couple times that things haven't quite gone according to plan, bumps in the road, or personal things going on that have disrupted the project. And granted, obviously we stuck through, but I would probably give myself reassurance in that you know, you continue to work as hard as you are and continue to keep your head down and just going at it, and you will get there. Also, someone else just said one word: roof.
One word? One word? Money. And I'll do it. Let's say. I'm trying to get this Dreamcast up.
This guy said, "Hi Falco and Tyler, thank you for being such an inspiration. Because of you, I got the first game I worked on got released earlier this year, Among the Sleep. And my question is, what kind of technology going forward do you see becoming important for story in games?"
Damn, that's some feels, man. I'm happy for you, dude.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. Important for story.
For story, yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I've always been a fan of like BioWare games, but I don't believe that their presentation is 100% correct for like the feels. I mean, I truly believe that the way that we're presenting the game in ES obviously is the way that story needs to be presented.
Obviously.
I don't think I mean, obviously you guys also don't know what it's like at this point, but it's very feelsy. I mean, you feel part of the world, I think. I think most games, like the older 16-bit games and things, were very static. It felt like you weren't part of the world, that you didn't exist in an actual living and breathing environment. And that's one thing that we're pushing really hard to do with ES, is like there's passage of time, there's different events happening maybe different days of the week or certain times of the year or something, because, you know, we have access to your system clock and things like that, that really help bring like that cohesive just environment to life. And I think more games should do that. I mean, I was a big fan of like the original Fable not Fable 3. But where they were going and what they kind of innovated with that was huge at the time. That really helped make the name for Lionhead. Let's see. Do you have a book recommendation for how to organize, structure bigger code projects and write prettier code C++?
Actually, no. That was something like I just kind of had to find out for myself, and trust me, it wasn't easy. That's why like the engine has been rewritten so many fucking times, is because like you don't, when you're new, you know, you don't know how to structure things for growth and for expansion and scalability, and it's just something you just. I wish there was. I wish I knew a good book on it, but I don't, and like it's just something I kind of had to pick up along the way.
One of the best pieces of advice that I think we could probably give is that when building some sort of subsystem or API, keep the interface as similar as possible, but just change the inner workings so that you're not constantly having to go back and be plagued by rewrites and things like that. Do your best to strive for that, and keep it as slim and agile as possible. Let's see, you guys are... Oh, my question down to the bottom. That's fantastic. You guys are
I hook up the dream. You're listening.
I just wanted to say thanks for being active and quitting your jobs to do this. ES and ESTK is going to make a huge mark on gaming. Also, being awesome and real keeps me interested. Well, we find a lot of our fans are like that too. I mean, I really don't see any reason to like hide like the engine crashes or hide behind like the iron curtain that most big companies do, to where like you have no clue what's going on. They take your money in a Kickstarter and just disappear for forever, or like, you know, they announce like, oh, this big game's coming out sometime next year, and you don't hear or see anything from them. That's one of the most appealing things about indie development, is you can have that kind of relationship with people. I mean, the indie game itself is like having a conversation with somebody. I mean, if I can create a scene with this dialogue and lighting and everything else that's emotionally evoking, that like I can have someone feel a certain way for like a character or for like some sort of cutscene, like, you know, that's us having a conversation with that person, and that's awesome. I mean, and that's what we really try to do with, obviously, like Adventures in Game Development and things like that. We try to be responsive as we can in the comments on the community. Also, did you take the Dreamcast in the other room, or you said what?
I'm about to, because it's a bigger screen in here. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, I feel like the entire like purpose of a game, because a game to me is a form of art. It's the aggregate of like every other fucking form of art, like music, audio, storytelling, and the goal of art is to evoke, some kind of emotional connection or some kind of emotion from the audience, and like. That's really what we strive to do, and I don't see why, like, game developers and stuff who are trying to, you know, connect with the audience through their work, you know, why are you not being open with them? And especially because I back Kickstarters too, and like I give them money, and like I don't hear from those motherfuckers for a year, and I'm like, well, damn, you know, I don't want to be like that. I really don't.
What kind of source management tools do you guys use to handle the entire project? Git's version Mercurial. Git and submodules, unfortunately. No.
God.
No, we've got like a CI server and things like that too. We're probably gonna have to upgrade all that stuff post Kickstarter. Figure out some sort of cloud hosting, because trying to do it all off of one person's internet can be a little taxing.
Well, invest in fiber optic with the Kickstarter funds.
Yeah, we'll just go host it at API Digital. It's fine. Let's see, this guy says, I'm in Spain right now, so it's past 5. Question, with the Oculus Rift and Sony's Project Morpheus, do you see VR taking off in the near future, and are you prepared for it? Well, we do have an Oculus Rift stretch goal. Eddie actually owns the first dev kit, and he's got the second one in order, and he may already have it in hand. I know some of them have shipped. I'm very, very interested in VR. I'm not quite sure how that experience will be on ES. Obviously, if we support it, it'll be awesome. I think there's a lot of movement towards VR too. Like, I don't know if any of you are Battlestar Galactica fans, But especially with like Google Glass and like Oculus being bought by Facebook, I just thought of just one word: holobands. So if it ends up going in that direction, that would be cool. I have no idea.
I'm still a little more skeptical, man. Like I truly, of course, like VR is the future. Like that's the way it's totally gonna. There's no way in my mind that gaming won't go there. I still think like the technology might be so new, you know, that like it's not like as good as it should be. You know, like when the Wii came out, like I still remember Blue Steel, or I don't remember which game it was. You know, like boasting, oh my God, like your movements are so realistic, like you're actually like sword fighting everyone and like
Twilight Princess or whatever. Like it was so off.
It wasn't like that at all. Like the technology was not yet to the point where like your movements really mapped to the game, and that was like a big disappointment for me with the Wii. And I'm just worried that like VR might not yet be to that point. It's like I'm not completely sold on it, but yes, I have no doubt it is the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if you look at like the NES's specs and then look at the Wii U's specs in comparison, I mean, VR is going to have that same kind of Moore's Law, gigantic leaps in really small amount of time. So, you know, 10 years after Oculus has shipped is going to be just night and day compared to when it starts. So I think it's going to start really good, and it's going to get even better than that.
Moore's Law? Damn.
Dude, come on.
No, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. The musician.
Dude, I'm going into third year of computer science at a university. If I don't know what Moore's Law is, I should be kicked out right now.
Yeah, you should just quit your bachelor's, dude.
Yeah. I'll go get a liberal. I'll like do basket weaving or something.
That's what I say. Like in graduate school, when like people are bitching this homework's too hard, I'm like, dude, you should just fucking give your master's back to the university, man. You should be able to do this.
Dude, just so everybody out there, like, because they are probably computer programmers too, is that I was in lab in second year of computer science university, and we had to use OpenSUSE or whatever for something, and people put up their hand and they went, "What's a Linux?" And it wasn't like people looked at them and shamed them. It was like multiple people had their hands up not knowing what Linux is in second year. I was like, what am I doing here?
How does one end Linux?
How does one what?
I said and Linux.
What is a Linux? Good stuff.
I still don't even know how to do that myself.
We'll have to ask Eddie that one. He's the Linux guy.
What's a byte?
What?
Never mind. No, I'm just asking. It's as stupid as like being in third year computer science and being like, I don't know what a bit is. What's a byte? I don't understand.
Sorry. Okay, let's see. Valerie says, okay, for my donation, I would like Falco to do a handstand against the wall, twerking his ass off.
Jesus. All right, Dreamcast hooked up. Okay, let me go twerk on the wall.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I don't know how to fucking twerk, first of all. One of you homies gonna fucking film me, dude?
I thought you were gonna move like the camera. I'm laying in. I'm not even on your Wi-Fi because I keep getting disconnected. So use your Mac. Hang on.
Wait, I'll look up some questions. I'll ask them I'll answer them. Being a hardware whore, how have you been able to take advantage of each of the prospective platforms' full processing power? We just like, you know, take the Johnson rod and we plug it into the thing, you know.
How do you twerk?
Then we use Newton's expressions to like do the thing to the power.
You just do push-ups instead.
No, I'm trying to twerk, dude. I don't know how to twerk. Jesus.
Falco, you need a bigger booty.
Is that acceptable?
Well, this elevates quickly.
Shit. Ugh.
Jesus.
Alright.
If this is the definition of integrity, then oh boy.
Then I am full of integrity. Alright, I'm hooking up the maracas, by the way. Continue. Dude, that's fucking exhausting. Jesus.
Man, it's because he's been sitting doing ES for a month straight and he hasn't exercised, so he's just like, he does a handstand, he's
I was
out.
working out at the beach, man. I know that.
Flexing your hairy abs in public is not a workout.
Yeah, it is. You guys can keep taking questions.
I can't answer any of these.
What's
Do you have
your
a
stance on
favorite
people
episode
streaming?
of AIGD?
Yeah.
Any of the ones I'm in? I don't know.
Yeah, dude. It's weird. I'm very opinionated about adventure and game development. Like,
Really?
yeah, dude. Like, some of them I can't stand. Like, I go back and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that. And, like, some of them I go back and I'm still genuinely proud of. Like, I don't know, it's weird. And like, I also know where I was at that point in life, and no one else knows because they just see the video. You know, it's like, I know, I was depressed during this episode, and no one else knows that.
It's all about when you had that like new metal Fred Durst blonde or orange hair. Those are my favorite episodes where you had that. That was the best.
New metal, dude, that was Marcel.
No, you had like the dyed orange new metal hair.
Yeah, I never had dyed orange hair.
What? Well,
like I
all right,
think.
Well, then I like Marcel more than you. Then apparently.
Shit. Go join him. I think honestly, I think chapter 12 through 15 were like really good chapters. Like that was like I was in a good place in life. Like 9 and 10 really sucked in my opinion. 18 through 20. Can you guys even hear me?
Yes.
I think like 18 through 20. Like I think they were good chapters, but like I was so depressed at that point in my life that I can't even watch them. Because it just reminds me.
Dude, Hey, do you guys hear anything?
Tyler, I can't hear Tyler. I can hear you though.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought. Yeah, Tyler, no one can fucking hear you, dude. But yeah, like a lot of people like love certain chapters more than others, and it's just weird, like, especially because like I grew up on the internet, and there's people who watch these and they don't know, it's 5 years ago, like all they see of me is like this chapter, so it's weird. It's kind of cool, but it's weird.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. What the hell? Did you hear what I said about the tequila shots?
Nope.
Someone asked about getting Val and Tyler to do tequila shots. First of all,
sounds good.
What happens in Panama City stays in Panama City. Second of all, I don't want to look at alcohol right now.
Okay, I have a story. Speaking of Panama City, dude.
Oh
God. So, like, we were in Panama City. Tyler gave out all of our business cards to show off. So, like, if we have this big jump, like the Kickstarter funding,
like, there's the Coyote Yogi girls too.
From chicks named like Crystal or Candy or Brandy or something, you'll know it was Tyler.
Also, first of all, we met the heir to the Mars Hershey's fortune, and he was buying shots for everybody in the bar, and dropped several $100 bills on the floor, which Dan may or may not have picked up. So we had a good time. It was very interesting to experience what I remember of it, I guess.
Yes.
Also, someone wants to do streaming or doing a Let's Play of ES. What is our stance on that?
Absolutely, dude. I think it's really fucked up when people won't let you Let's Play their game. Like, seriously? We totally encourage that. We want to see you fucking do it. We want to watch you, man. We want to see how you react to the game.
Sorry, looking at a couple things. I didn't know you walked away from your computer.
I'm trying to set this shit up.
Let's. What exactly happened in the beach? Not talking about that. For my donation, I would like to do. Twerking. I already answered that one. Why are these not? Why are these still in my queue? Somebody linked a video for him to look at for twerking. If the Oculus Rift stretch goal is achieved, any chance on a Google Cardboard version?
Huh.
You're not the first person to ask that.
Or maybe it's the same person.
Oh, it could be. I'm not sure actually. We, I guess, would like to consider that. I mean, obviously, making it for the Oculus Rift, I'm sure things like Project Morpheus or Cardboard would have pretty similar requirements. It wouldn't take that much more effort to do. So it's possible. I can't definitively answer that though. Let's see. Dennis Smith asked a question here.
All right, I got the maracas up.
Planning on making the Dreamcast copy of ES to look like the original Dreamcast games in a CD jewel case. Also will include a physical manual front cover art. All I see on your Kickstarter are digital copies of the manual. Obviously, yes, we want to do a physical copy, or actually doing all 3 regions for the Dreamcast. That's something that Watermelon is actually helping us with. Tulio is very, very detail-oriented. If any of you have actually seen the Pure Solar like Genesis versions, I mean, he even went to a point of getting someone to create the exact screws that went in the back of the Genesis cartridges, just so it could be even that more authentic. So, I mean, the jewel cases, PAL and everything will be just like you went to like Target or Walmart or whatever back in 2000 and bought a Dreamcast game. It would be very, very similar to the real deal, if you will, manual and everything. The reason why we have the digital copies of the manual is because of like the digital downloaders and things like that from like Steam or what have you. Which, by the way, if you haven't voted for our Steam Greenlight, go to the page.
Yes.
It's out there. Vote yes. Leave a comment. Tell everyone how awesome we are. Help persuade Valve to greenlight us. So.
All right, so real quick, for those of you who don't know, Samba de Amigo is this crazy-ass dance rhythm game that came out for the Dreamcast, where like you use maracas and like you hit the notes and shit with maracas, and like it's crazy. Like it's got like crazy-ass Latin music, fucking Ricky Martin on it. Like it's just fucking awesome, dude. This game is sweet. So I'm gonna do like a song on super hard mode, and I think I chose "Living La Vida Loca" by fucking Ricky Martin. I think. Let me turn this shit up on the surround sound.
Oh God, we might have to close this door, Dane.
Oh shit! Hold up. Shit.
Blaine's comment. Did you see that?
Oh shit.
Oh.
Dude, it's because I didn't pick the right height. It wasn't detecting. It's not my fault. Shit. Alright.
Waiting for him to finish the song here. Play a song, I guess.
You guys want to hear fucking There's the Cup of Life, Ricky Martin, Volare, Hot, 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 Tub Thumping, fucking Tub Thumping.
Say Joe B, Joe Ba.
Alright, for real, for real. Oh yeah! Shit. Shit.
watching Falco play. I don't want to try and talk over the music. I don't know how loud that is for everybody else.
Ah, all right, I'm done. I did it. I didn't do well.
Hey, by the way, Blaine Humphreys commented, pro tip, don't take tequila shots. You'll end up calling some game developers at stupid hours in the morning and having conversations you don't remember.
It's cool, Blaine. You still have your dignity, sort of.
There's no judgment here.
I say shit. Kind of weird.
All right, let me get my headphones back on. Keep taking questions.
Okay, someone else said Falco's video quality does not do the maracas justice.
Really doesn't. I completely agree. That's why I need to Kickstarter us and I can get a better camera.
What do you think about the test-driven development? Do you use it in ES and ESTK?
Yes and no. Like it's really like we're not doing this formal thing to where it's like, oh, like here's the fucking test plan, let's test this. But like we're making a game which uses ESTK in the engine, you know what I mean? So like every time we fucking work on ES, we're testing it, you know. So
more or less, Falco will make a change and be like, "I've committed. Try it now."
Yeah, and so we like bitch and have bug reports and stuff on the forum. So like in like a commercial, like big company sense, like not really, but like.
Also, you just cut out. I don't know if you can hear me or not. He's probably in there talking. Apparently his laptop just died. Are PC backers going to get a copy for Steam if Greenlight goes live? I know it will, but I just have to ask. Absolutely. That's the point of Greenlight for us. We would love to use it as a platform for distribution, but also because so many people were asking us if like the PC copy, like physical disc, would come with like a Linux or Mac build. I mean, essentially, since we would only have to include those other binaries, absolutely, I don't see why not. And Steam would be a great platform because, believe it or not, we have a ton of digital downloads. I mean, that market is way more geared towards things like Steam than people who buy physical games. I mean, honestly, like the only physical copies of PC games that I have anymore are all like the crazy big box, like collector's edition stuff that I have on my bookshelf. I do have some other old games like Age of Empires and stuff that weren't collectors back in the day, but that's simply just the way it is now for a lot of the PC stuff. So yes. What is the best tool idea for motivation on working for long-term projects? Making sure, I guess. I mean, you have.
Hey, my bad.
Vision. Yes.
Okay, laptop died. My bad.
Somebody just asked, what's the best tool idea for motivation for like working on long-term projects?
For me, it's the project has to grow with you. Like you see so many developers who do good work. It's the problem is that they're like attention deficit with their work. Like they'll start on a project and they'll be like, ooh, I have like this really cool idea, or like I want to do like something with physics and stuff. And for me, like you can go back and watch Adventures in Game Development, and like as I have grown like as an engineer, I've always found ways to like to make ES grow with me. So like I've always had that emotional attachment to like my work, you know. I don't feel like I've ever outgrown it, which I think that's a problem with a lot of other projects. Like I feel like it has to grow with you as a developer, and I also feel like that's another reason like me doing like graduate school work that's relevant to ES is also awesome, because like, you know, you're still progressing your main project at school, you know. So I feel like that's pretty important.
Let's see. Question for everyone: is there anything that took way longer to create than you originally thought, i.e., engine development, game scripting, music?
Physics engine for me, dude, took way longer. Actually, when I first started the physics engine, which was several years ago, like I wasn't nearly as good as I am today, especially at math, which was like my biggest bottleneck. There was a point in time where I almost said, fuck it, like I'll just use Box 2D and not make my own physics engine. And my girlfriend at the time, I was kind of like taken aback. She was like, no, don't be a bitch. You write your own physics engine. I was like, damn. So like, I just kind of manned up and did it. Like, seriously, like, it was still another 2 years before the thing was like how it is today. And it's just been something like that I've had to grow like as a developer into being able to complete, to match like my vision for it. But So that was kind of a pain in the ass.
Let's see. I guess scripting-wise, the pathfinding stuff is probably the most ridiculous stuff. It became such a large time sink that I avoided actually using true A-star or JPS at this point, simply because it doesn't make that big of a difference for us right now. That is something that will end up actually be probably pretty time-consuming. We'll actually have to integrate it with some of the map metadata from the toolkit and things like that post Kickstarter. So it's going to take a lot more than what I thought to do. Let's mark this one as answered. There's a couple in here. I thought I'd already answered these. See, will the mobile versions of Elysian Shadows be the same game as the console PC versions with virtual controls? Yes.
Yep, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, well, first of all, like, I don't want to say, like, yes, all we're doing is throwing on, like, a virtual control pad, because that is not what we're doing. Like,
no.
We're trying to make, like, the controls intuitive on the mobile devices, which if it means that something will have to be slightly different, like you can click on enemies instead of having to, like, maneuver to them with the D-pad, like, in that sense, yes, it might very well be a little different on the mobile devices, but as far as the core game experience, you're not getting anything less.
I mean, especially since we wanted to have something like the save tool, to where, like, you can move between these consoles freely. To have, like, a fundamentally different experience on, like, mobile versus console would be game breaking. I mean,
not to mention that'd be pretty douchey because we never advertised there being a difference. No, there won't be.
What is Connor doing?
Fuck.
Jesus.
What does he say? Wow, such much, buddy.
Such Nick, much buddy. The guy who runs my Facebook page and the SoundCloud page that we use for the Kickstarter is Nick. He's a guy from Ohio that messaged me one day and he was like, "Hey, I like your music," and then we became friends. So I'm like, kind of just giving a little shout-outs there.
You're telling me you have someone managing your social media for you, and, like, we're managing our own shit for ES with the Kickstarter, but you have your own fucking. Damn.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but, like, kind of a big deal. No, Nick's just a total bro.
You used to, like, call this guy. I remember because you were doing something for the SoundCloud for the Kickstarter page. You're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to get a hold of this guy that runs it." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
really?
Dude, Nick was the guy who made the page and he runs it and everything. He's a total bro.
I didn't catch, dude. I never knew that. I thought that was you.
We'll have to put him in the credits for ES.
Shit, dude. I've never met this dude. What the? Damn. All right.
Tyler, you're from Ohio too, right?
Yes, I was actually born in Columbus, Ohio, and raised in Huron County for the most part. Got family up there. Not that I admit that too often. I hate Ohio, but I love my family. So, Ohio is a very rainy, depressing state. Very depressing.
All right. Speaking of depressing, let's continue with the questions.
Yeah. What text editor IDE do you guys use for C and C++? QT.
QT Creator. QT Creator. It's the best IDE I've seen for cross-platform development. Like, there's like Code Blocks and some other ones, but, like, Code Blocks, I don't know if you've seen it, at least when I tried it, man, it is shit on OS X. Like, it is shit. Where Qt Creator is genuinely the same goddamn thing on every platform. So I really like it in that respect, and then I really like the Qt framework. So.
Somebody else asked, are there any resources or books on how to make a clean-coded GUI program like your ESTK?
Yeah, actually, in college I took a class on Qt or Qt, and the textbook for the class was like learning Qt4 or some shit, or like design patterns with Qt, and actually it was a really good book. It was a textbook for school, but you can find it at Barnes & Noble. That was totally a kick-ass book.
How many GBs do you think the final release is going to be?
How many Game Boys?
Well, it might be several Game Boys.
Take all of the Game Boy CPUs and, like, put them together and run ES.
It'll be a little less if we can use the Game Boy Color, but
yeah, Game Boy Advance, SP.
No, you know it can't be that many GBs because, well, okay, like I said, you can have multiple discs on the Dreamcast, but a Dreamcast disc is basically like the size of a CD, so it's about 700 megs. So.
It depends how much feels Connor puts into all of his music, because it's going to get to the point where we're going to be like, I can't not include this song, so we're going to have to start including all of this stuff, and it's going to end up being extra discs, and damn it, Connor.
Dude, like when I got Galarians for PlayStation in the mail and it had 3 discs, the first survival horror game I ever saw that had 3 discs. Like when people get Elysian Shadows and it has like 5 discs, they'll be pretty hyped.
Yeah, well, if you look at it like that.
Oh, goodness.
Someone said if you guys put this much craziness and passion into your game, I might have to buy all my friends copies so they can try it.
Yes.
That's fucking awesome. I'm just gonna sit here and nod my head. So we should do that so we get more sales. But I mean, yeah, like, you know, we're endowing this game with like pieces of our personality, and I feel like especially those of you who know us in real life or you know followed us on YouTube and stuff, you'll be like, I see what he did there. Like,
yeah, plenty of pop culture references and things like that. That makes games pretty fun. Let's say ES goes over amazing and you sell a ton of copies and you get a job offer for some AAA company of your choice. Which would you go work for?
None. You know, I actually right out of college I got a job offer from EA. None. I honestly I wouldn't. Like, look at the gaming industry. I could easily make more money as an engineer, like not working my ass off all day and all night for someone else's game, like doing, you know, like my own hours and stuff than I could as a game developer because I feel like the market's so saturated and like
so many layoffs and everything else right now too.
And the big companies, they know that like you're a dime a dozen. Everyone wants to make like their games. So like I don't know. I just don't feel like that environment is right for me, and I would rather like always stay small and just do like the things I love and the games I love. So I don't really ever. I don't see myself.
Why I quit my desk job now was because I got tired of making someone else's dream a reality. I mean, we've done this for so long working on ES that like we really felt it was time to take that chance and push forward as hard as we can because I was pulling my hair out, getting up every single day and going to somebody else's work and, you know, pushing forward their product and everything else and not really getting the feedback they need to grow the business or anything like that.
Plus, I look at it like, I'm not saying that we're id Software, obviously, or whatever, but if you're id Software and you just put out Commander Keen and Wolfenstein and then it's successful and you could go somewhere else and you can make game sequel 57,000. But what if Doom is right around the corner? Like, it's like one of those things, like, why would you? Why would you do that anyways? That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Hey, real quick, we're going to have to wrap this up in like 15 minutes. Sorry, guys. Like, I seriously, I have so many emails I have to go through and like interviews I have to do for like Kickstarter marketing stuff that's really important for our campaign. Like, that's the only reason I'm cutting it off.
We've got a ton of emails just while sitting. Right. It's ridiculous.
I saw, didn't someone just ask if there were going to be Easter eggs?
Yeah, I was getting ready to I grabbed that question.
Okay, yeah.
Are there any Easter eggs in the game, e.g., are there characters of you guys hidden somewhere in the game?
Yes, there are. There are so many Easter eggs. We're so excited for some of the Easter eggs. I'm not going to tell you, but like we have in our design doc, like there's just on like the end of the design doc, there's this page that's just like random really fucking sweet ideas. That's like stuff like Easter eggs and stuff from like, you know, games or movies or shows or books, like things we like things that we want to like put in ES that's like not necessarily a part of the storyline, you know, but brings like a lot of character to it. So like we're super excited to do stuff like that.
Did pixel us up, you know, for the website and everything. I'm sure it wouldn't take too much effort to put that in the game.
Not to mention we've already talked. We talked about this.
I know we have.
But there's also like the level that I'm designing. Like I have a big sheet of like things I want to put in because you can't make the level I'm making and not have like, you know, like the red room somewhere, but like all these kind of references, like you can't put your heart into a game and not want to pay proper tributes and not like point your finger at something and be like, if you know what I'm talking about, you're the most rad person on earth. You can't not do that. Like the games that don't do that are the games that are boring that nobody cares about, right?
Right.
It's the ones that have the personality that matter.
Right.
Someone else just said, for anyone who is watching right now who hasn't backed the project yet, this is your time to tell them why they should back it. What sets this game apart from any of the RPG games on the market right now?
Jesus. Oh, man. Well,
I'm making a soundtrack.
Connor's making a soundtrack.
It's going to be sweet. I'm just kidding. No, it's not, you know, we're not trying to play in that same field. We're not trying to make another 2D RPG. We're not trying to be Chrono Trigger. We're trying to make something that's very new and very relevant today, and we're trying to make a game that is that is taking like aspects of the old 2D RPGs that we love, but is also like molding it with like all these awesome games that have come since then and all the awesome technology, and really trying to reinvent like what a 2D RPG is as far as like storyline depth, gameplay, graphics, audio. We're really trying to make like this experience that is old and new at the same time. And if you're looking for, you know, if you're looking for just an old 2D RPG, then maybe this isn't the project you want to back, because we're very much trying to do something new and innovative with it. That's the way I know how to pitch it, which is why we're on the Dreamcast. I'm just kidding. I know people are like, wait, you're next gen, but you're on the Dreamcast.
Someone asked, will there be an Indiana Jones in a fridge Easter egg?
Ooh, Indiana Jones.
Out of all of the movies, that one wasn't my favorite.
Wait, Indiana Jones and which one?
The latest, the Crystal Skull.
Oh, we don't talk about that Indiana Jones in here.
Shy douche. Let's see. With the dynamic camera in 2D and 3D space, how do you plan on scaling that for different resolutions? We cap it at a very specific resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that question? I was totally reading some comment. Sorry. Yeah. What was
the dynamic camera in the 2 and 3D space? How do you plan on scaling that for different resolutions?
That's more what I was mentioning before, in that like in addition to having like the different perspectives and stuff, like you can zoom in and out like in 3D so that you can see more or less. Like even if you're on like a lower resolution, you're not seeing less action. It's very much like God, I just said that game. It's like Smash Brothers in that respect, to where it's dynamically zooming in and out to keep like the action on screen, you know. So you're not missing out just because you have a lower resolution on like a handheld or something like that.
Let's see. There's so many in here. Like this keeps jumping around trying to like read these questions if I don't grab it as soon as I see it.
Oh, and I see one. I want to answer this one because I see money in it. Just kidding. We, and I use that loosely, have gained a few $100s with this live stream. Can we get a few people to buy a copy for a friend? I'd love to see the goals jump a bit. They are awesome for doing this. Damn, I like this guy. He's not a team member, everyone. We didn't write that. I don't know who this is, but I like you.
Let's see. Somebody just asked, and I'm pulling up the Kickstarter page to verify.
Oh God, what did we do?
Does the 300 level on the Kickstarter come with a physical design doc or a digital one? I ask because the Kickstarter says digital in the section in the cheat sheet, but physical in the other. The pledge is on the right. I would say.
Oh no! It comes. Sorry. Yeah, we might have screwed up. If you get the limited edition, then in the chest for the limited edition, it's like a chest made of like our Qbot robot thing. In that chest, you're getting the physical design document, the physical art concept book, physical soundtrack, and physical game, along with like a figurine and an Egyptian papyrus scroll. So yes, that's physical, but you may also get digital too because you get the tiers above that. But yeah, you are getting a physical copy with that because you're getting the limited edition version of the game.
Just taking note of that so we can update that here.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Good point. Hold on. To everyone, do you play any modern games, or did you before the Kickstarter craziness started? Yeah. I mean, like, we absolutely do. There's a lot of people who make like 2D RPGs and stuff like that who are not into modern games, but that's really not at all what this team is doing. Like yesterday night, we were playing The Last of Us on PS4. No, we aren't just like playing retro games. You know, like we're very like up in touch with like modern games and stuff like that. Like I fell in love with like the Uncharted series, Tomb Raider, The Last of Us. I'm a huge Naughty Dog fan. I fucking love them. I wish Resident Evil didn't still suck. But yeah, no, we do play a lot of modern games. I still play a lot of like, dude, we just beat Pokemon X and Y together like as a team. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the latest Pokemon release, Sapphire and Ruby. That's gonna be awesome.
It is, dude. I can't wait.
I've been playing like Bravely Default. Falco and I have. We're trying to get Dan in on that loop, but we found out his DS doesn't play the American cartridges, so I have to wait till he goes back home.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does the ES Toolkit support HTML5 WebGL?
Oh my god. Are you trolling me? No, it doesn't. It does not right now support HTML5 and WebGL. I guess, like, in theory, it could in the future, but someone else is going to have to do that.
Just make Eddie do it.
Like, I'm too much of a low-level guy to have much interest in WebGL, and, like, I acknowledge that's because I'm biased and I'm a douche, but, like, I don't know. It doesn't interest me that much from an engineering perspective, which is why I need someone like Eddie to do it for me. But, yeah, it could totally be supported.
Actually, Matt Hensley just asked a question.
Hey, Matt. Hey, dude.
Excited for the beta release, guys. Will there be an issue tracker we can log bugs with if we run to them in the game playing the beta? Thanks.
Matt, we should set up a JIRA from AdTrend. Yeah, absolutely. There will have to be.
We'll have to.
Bug tracker. There has to be. Yeah. Maybe we should use JIRA.
Because I will not go through all of your forum posts to look for specific bugs. Let me tell you that right now.
And that's like the whole point of a beta is really finding bugs and stuff like that. So yeah, totally. There will have to be.
This guy just asked, what are your plans as far as work once the game is finished?
Our plans are hopefully the game does well enough to fund our next game, and we keep doing this for the rest of our lives and live the good life until we're too old and decrepit to keep fighting this battle.
But I mean, how old do you have to be that you can't sit in front of a computer making a sick RPG?
Well, it's not. But it's not like that, dude. Like, we're doing, like, late hours, like, working our asses off. Like, even after this Kickstarter, dude, like, I haven't had a chance to sit down and code, but, like, I'm still working, like, full-time doing, like, PR and interviews and stuff. Like,
no, but I mean, like, even if we're in our 80s, we could still say, okay, it's going to take 5 years to make this because we're only going to work 6 hours a day because otherwise we're going to miss the early bird special. But, like...
Yeah,
we can still do it, so it's not like...
I see what you said. Yeah. What he said, I like where you're going with that. I see.
Somebody asked, for Connor, how excited are you for the Resident Evil remake coming to PS3, PS4, 360, X1, and PC? First of all, I think the entire team is excited for that.
I'm fucking excited.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Dude, that's going to be like the hypest shit since the remake.
Dude, yeah.
And then the hypest shit since RE1. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. And then Alone in the Dark and then Sweet Home, yeah. Dude, it's gonna, like, I'll buy a PS4 just to play the remake.
I wouldn't.
I've got a PS4. I'll play it in the 187 inches of my projector glory. I'm very excited.
Yeah, because that game still looks, like, artistically, and even just on the GameCube, I think it even still just looks better than a lot of.
Dude, I just beat it on the GameCube. Like, I never was like in the GameCube like when it was in, because like I was into my Dreamcast and PS2. Sorry, everyone hates me now, but like. I had a surgery a few months ago, and like I decided, like, while I'm recovering and I'm high as hell on painkillers, I'm gonna play on GameCube the RE remake, and that game was fucking incredible. Like, I think that might be the scariest fucking Resident Evil. Or, I mean, maybe it was just because I was high. I was high, but I was fucking terrified of that game. It was.
But
awesome.
I mean, it looks so good, and then imagine it.
It does, dude. It aged like brilliantly. It looks amazing. Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things that if it actually gets a good chunk of money, if they did that with Resident Evil 2, I would just lose my bananas.
Oh, dude, RE2, yeah. Oh yeah.
I bet Nick asked that question.
Will there ever be iOS or Android ports?
No, there already are, dude.
Yes.
There already are. Droid is already a platform we're releasing on, and so is iOS. Actually, we had the engine running on iOS not too long ago, so yeah, absolutely. Actually, like, towards the end of the campaign, we're probably going to introduce, like, a limited iOS tier, because we're limited by Apple and how many we can just give away, of, like, 100 or something for backers to go ahead and pre-order the iOS version. But yeah, I mean, like, we're targeting the Ouya, so basically, like, with that, we're already getting an Android build, so yeah, it's totally on Droid and iOS.
Someone asked, why are you guys so awesome?
Not really sure about that. Like, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
That's a hard question. We got 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes.
I guess this is a good one. Somebody said, realize you're accepting cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. What does Bitcoin mean to you?
This is a philosophical, moral question.
If
we answer it right, he might be like, oh, he supports the cause and he's a brother. Let me throw him some Bitcoins.
I'll say this. We haven't officially started plugging Bitcoins yet because of the way that Kickstarter just naturally works. We were worried about PayPal and stuff like that too. Like, we don't want to take your money without getting successfully funded first. So we haven't pushed that, but they are out there for people who want to just straight up donate at this point.
Yeah, that's going to come after we hit the goal. We're totally going to release, like, all of these tiers to PayPal and Bitcoin. That's like something we totally have to do. But we have to do it after in case something happened because we would have to refund you because it's not going through Kickstarter. Yep. But like to answer your question on like a more philosophical level, to me it means freedom. It means like what the fuck business does the government have in you being like, hey bro, I like your game. Here's some money. Let me buy your product. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I need to be in this transaction.
I see you're giving him money. Let me take 15% of that. I feel like that's complete bullshit. And I feel like I feel like Bitcoin is something that like truly like circumvents that bullshit of like I don't know. I do know, but I don't want to go too far.
Yeah. Somebody just increased their pledge to like $1,000. Wow.
Jeez. Hey, bro, you want me to do something dumb in the live stream, or how do you want me to thank you? Since obviously I can't call you out for privacy reasons.
Yeah.
But I love you. I don't.
Just message us on Facebook.
Yeah, please. Yeah. And let us like thank you personally or something.
Let's see. Someone asked here.
Dude, someone just went from 150 to 350 also.
I see that. Is it worth the Android version on a phone, i.e. are you going to make the Android port phone optimized or tablet optimized? In the end, I'm leaning towards Android, but if not, the controls by virtual joystick, not my cup of tea. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally understand, and that's something that we haven't necessarily finalized yet, how we want to do the controls, but like, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I don't want to just slap on a virtual fucking joystick and like not rewrite any code and call that the game. You know, I want to optimize like the control scheme for touch. You know, I want it to feel like it was made for a mobile device in that sense. Otherwise, yeah, you're getting just like the same fucking thing with shittier controls. I really don't want that. And as far as like tablet goes, like the plan was to make the resolution like dynamic in the sense that, you know, it should gracefully scale to a tablet resolution versus a phone resolution, because it's already having to do that for like the Dreamcast and the other consoles. So I don't know. I don't foresee you like disliking the Android version, because we're going to try like everything we can to not just slap on that virtual joystick.
Yeah, I mean that's what Eddie is on the team for. I mean, he's a huge Android guy. I mean, that's what he does too, is like designing those kind of UIs and things like that. So he probably would fundamentally re-architecture something to make sure that it is.
Oh no, he's not allowed to fundamentally re-architecture anything.
Yeah.
By the way, we have hit 91K, which is awesome.
Thank you guys.
We are almost in the 6 digits. Like we're almost at the point where it feels good. You know, like
I really think like, especially the problem we have, and like it's kind of funny. Like I don't know how much you guys understand like how much you've been subjected to like how Kickstarter works and stuff.
Oh my
like
God.
Back in the day, if you made a Kickstarter, you know, you would get even like a remotely good-looking Kickstarter, you would get like the big websites like IGN and Kotaku reporting on you, which would bring so much more traffic over, which made it so much easier for people back then. But now the market's so saturated, and like there's all this negative press about a Kickstarter that people like us, dude, we almost have 100K, and we have yet to be mentioned on a single one of like the IGN, Kotaku, Game of Sutra, none of those, which is like, not to sound too arrogant, like it's unheard of. Like this has all been like organically us like hanging out with fans and like doing live streams and stuff like that. And like I'm really hoping that like after 100K, like these big gaming sites will be like, oh, this is like a serious fucking thing, you know, like this game's gonna happen. Like I want to feel like they'd be more willing to give us a shout out then. And also,
I mentioned this on a podcast that like being in some music scenes and bands can be like extremely negative. But we have done all of this so far, and it's just been with like people who are just into it and are super positive, and it's like rejuvenated my humanity, my belief in humanity or whatever. So it's like people who follow ES are literally the coolest people on ever. That's sweet.
Speaking of which, we got, I guess, one final question here, and this one actually comes from Tulio.
What about my question?
Tulio, hey man, dude, it's late, dude. You got to be up tomorrow. Hey.
I guess we'll take one more for Connors. It says, it's clear that you guys never sleep. Is that how you plan to achieve the goal date?
Yes. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, like, I know how, like, taxing it is on my body to not sleep. So, like, people think I'm really unhealthy, but, like, actually I eat nothing but, like, health foods and salads and, like, work out and stuff during the week, because I know like I need my body to be able to handle like this stress. So like I live like a very like weird life in that sense that like, you know, in some aspects like I stay up late and do that like unhealthy, but in other aspects I'm like this stress is going to kill me if I don't go to the gym. So
yeah, it's also fun to do that. I mean, we've been doing that stuff since like day one, like staying up late and just coding in one session like that. So
right.
It'd be hard to break that habit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very hard.
I think your last question, then. What did they ask you?
No, I posted a question.
What?
Oh.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I totally did though. So it's
Hey, whoa,
my question.
real quick. The 150 from 350 was me. Love you guys. Wait a minute. That's. Thank you. I don't want to call out your name, but thank you. I see exactly who you are. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I guess that's it. We got a ton of PR stuff to go through and interviews to return to make sure they're sitting on people's desks
Hey,
for Monday.
if you still have like really important questions, first of all, we're doing this next week and we're gonna keep doing this. If it's like Kickstarter related, go to like the Kickstarter page and like post there, because like we'll totally keep taking questions.
One thing also is because like I can't really live stream making music because it would be like pure silence and then like a gigantic bang and then pure silence and nobody wants that.
Yeah, that's why you can't live stream coding either, because it's just me in my underwear.
Yeah, if anybody wants me to LP survival horror games or Harry Potter on a Game Boy Color, spam one of our pages somewhere. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're 3 minutes over or whatever. Thank you all for coming. Like, we really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next week. Like, we're totally going to do this. We'll probably do it earlier next week since we'll get the word out, but probably it will also be Sunday. And like I said, we're gonna try to like keep doing this. But please keep spreading the word, because like I said, like with our Kickstarter, we don't have the big gaming sites. Like, this is 100% organic. This is happening because like, you know, we're hanging out with you guys, you're telling your friends, and like it's just kind of like picking up steam like that way. So like we have to keep doing that to, you know, to not just fucking stop the growth before the goal.
Yep.
So thank you all very much.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Anything else?
No, I'm good. It's 11 and I've got work to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna actually go dev. Like, all right. See you guys later. Have fun. We'll go back and we'll read the comments on like the YouTube and stuff too. So like if we didn't answer your question or whatever, it will probably still get answered. So, all right. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.